season with at least 9 sacks, including a career-high 12 in 2021. Meanwhile, the Washington Commanders have released 2-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Jonathan Allen, the team making that announcement today. The move ends an 8-year relationship with the Commanders, failed to find a trade partner to take on Allen.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. We are live in Peoria, Arizona on a very chilly, wet day where there was a torrential downpour for much of this morning and early afternoon. Pretty crazy to see. It felt like we were back in Washington.
Looked just like Seattle.
It feels like Seattle. It's very cold. I don't know if it's in the 50s or not yet, but it's luckily the rain has stopped, so hopefully they'll be able to get their game in tonight, which I think they will. The Dodgers are in town, so I don't know if there's a ticket left for that game. Very popular ticket out here in Peoria, Arizona, with the Dodgers coming to town.
They're like $90.
Yeah.
That's what our buddy Greg was telling us, our P1, our number one listener.
I have bad news, or maybe good news if you're still trying to get to the game. No Ohtani, no Betts, no Freeman.
What?
We do have a Teoscar Hernandez in the lineup for the Dodgers, though.
Got a Max Muncy?
No Max Muncy.
Got a Kike Hernandez?
You do have a Kike Hernandez.
So let me get this straight. They sell the tickets for $90. They jack them way up, and then all of a sudden they send out the lineup.
Well,
By the way,
the Dodgers control that, but yeah, I think
it's the
blame the weather.
down Dodgers.
Who's pitching for the Dodgers?
Robleski.
Who? Come on.
Never heard of
All right.
Well, maybe we'll find cheaper tickets tonight. So
yeah, maybe the secondary market just
secondary
took a
market
hit.
opened up.
Exactly right.
Just took a hit. So there you go. All right. Well, the Dodgers are in town, or a version of the Dodgers are in town, apparently, and they'll be taking on the Mariners tonight. Coming up on the show, we got Dan Wilson, your skipper for the Seattle Mariners, joining us at 3 p.m. Mitch Haniger will join us at 4 p.m. J.P. Crawford will join us at 5 o'clock. We put in the word with a few other players. We might get Bryce Miller, maybe Dylan Moore. We'll see if we could track down anybody. I saw Peter Gammons in there and talk to him about potentially coming out, the legend that is Peter Gammons, and also Edgar Martinez. Talk to him. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we can track him down. He's very elusive, Edgar. He just disappeared. Lefko had me chasing down somebody that looked like Edgar down the hall, and it turns out it wasn't him.
That's the payback for me chasing down a Bryce Miller lookalike the other day.
He goes, I was standing out there waiting for Edgar, and he goes, hey, he just came out of the office. He took a right. So I'm running down the hall after this guy and turned the corner, and it wasn't him.
Well, and then I think Lefko's Bryce Miller guy wasn't even wearing a hat.
Oh, he was wearing a hat. Yeah, he had.
No, he wasn't.
The one he was.
That was a joke.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to make a joke.
Oh, I got you. You lost me.
Because he always has a hat, is the point.
That's exactly right. That's a fair point.
Lefko tried to sell us on a hatless Bryce Miller.
Well, guaranteed that everybody will be wearing a hat in this cold. It's a bit nippy out here, but we're going to power through. We got the Mariners and Dodgers coming up at 5:30, so you guys can tune into that game. The news coming out today, just in full interest of full disclosure here, we should say. We recorded our interview with Dan Wilson before this news came out, so there will be no questions to Dan about George Kirby, who's been shut down from throwing due to shoulder inflammation. The good news, no structural damage after undergoing an MRI, so just some inflammation, and they're going to hold him back, keep him safe from himself, as our own Shannon Dreyer tweeted out that they had to have 5 separate conversations with him to keep him from throwing. He just wanted to throw his way through it, and no big deal. But they said no, we're gonna hold you back, which is the right thing to do.
Well, it's not only the right thing to do, but also it makes you love George Kirby even more, right? I mean, you have to. Sometimes you have to save players from themselves. I suppose I was that kind of guy, but yeah, you want competitors, and he seemed like he was in a bad mood, and I don't blame him. He's pissed, even if it's a meaningless spring training game. He still wants to go out there and compete. So, yeah, that's. I mean, it's good news, bad news. I think the other thing is, during spring training, and it's the same thing in the NFL. Nobody wants to get anyone hurt in a meaningless game.
Right.
Doesn't mean anything. I mean, it was obviously not the schedule that they have for him and how George Kirby himself planned it out, but still, it's just like, and you love players that have to be held back because you know that they're not babying themselves. They want to go out there and be the warriors that they are. And Kirby just, I mean, the intensity of that kid, holy smokes. Yeah, I would definitely, if there was one guy on the team that I'd be like, okay, we got to save this guy from himself, that would be my guess. That would be George Kirby.
Yeah, he's got a definite intensity to him. And just looking at the tweet from Shannon, you know, original tweet, George Kirby's being shut down for a short period of time after not bouncing back easily from his outings. His outings, his shoulder MRI says no structural damage, just some inflammation. And then the quote from Justin Hollander, who was speaking on this, said, according to Justin Hollander, it took 5 conversations by the medical staff with Kirby to get him to stop. Says, like when he is on the mound, tough to take the ball from him. The quote, his treatment option was to do nothing, give me the ball, and let me pitch. So, yeah, Emerson Hancock, by the way, will get the start tonight in tonight's spring training game against the Dodgers. So Emerson Hancock gets the start. No timeline for Kirby. The shoulder will determine when he throws again. They have to get the inflammation out. So right now it's being portrayed as, hey, not a big thing. We're just going to work this out and not take any chances. Hopefully it's not something that turns into anything or lingering or any of that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, and I think it's good news and big deal, all this. I think the only thing is that, you know, for a lot of fans, we're relying on that staff staying healthy, you know, and they're huge. That's a huge part of this team. And so I think it kind of just, and for me too, it just kind of reminds you that pitchers get hurt. I mean, the ridiculous contortion that they go through, and, you know, it's just, it's pretty rare that you get, you know, a pitching staff that entirely is healthy the entire year. So, yeah, just kind of a reminder that these guys are kind of fragile. You know, and that's the thing that goes along with it. But if it was during the season, yeah, you'd be concerned. But not now. We got plenty of time.
Yeah, listen, with any player, pitchers or any player who's dealing with anything, they're going to err on the side of caution.
Yeah,
with any of them, it doesn't matter, and it's because these games don't mean anything, and these guys are crucial, especially the rotation. But if this were Cal, if this were Julio, if this were JP, any of these players, they're going to shut them down. They're going to hold them out. So there's no reason to risk anything at this point for a spring training game. And again, we'll treat it as something minor. That's the way it's being portrayed, and again, hopefully it stays that way. But it does speak to how fortunate they've been to keep these guys healthy and everybody up. When their turn is up, they're out there. You know, Brian Wu started the season late last year, dealt with injury, did have the hamstring situation later on in the season. But for the most part, this has been a remarkably durable rotation. And hopefully that'll be the case once again this season. And we'll see what Emerson Hancock does. He's a guy who's stepped in before when they've needed him. He doesn't, you know, look, he's a guy who, if you called him your 4 or 5, he makes more sense as that, where we talk about a rotation of 1s and 2s. He's a guy who's very solid. He's very workmanlike. He's not electric, if you will, the way that, you know, you see. I mean, Brian Wu last night was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Brian Wu, I don't know how many people were listening to the game last night. He goes 2 innings and strikes out 6. I mean, it was classic vintage Brian Wu, like we saw him last year. It was really, really cool to see, and I know it's spring training, but it just was a reminder of how electric and special these guys are. Emerson's not in that category, but he's shown to be good. He has kept the team in games when he's been out there. If he's a guy that can give you a quality start, give you 6, hold that opposition to 3 or fewer, and give your team a chance, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I was sitting way out in left field, but you guys were up in the media
press box
area.
Yeah.
Did you see the easy cheese?
Oh, yeah.
From Brian Wu?
Very easy cheese.
Cal Raleigh was talking about?
Lots of easy cheese there.
Which means?
Which means he throws the ball really hard with what seems like very little effort.
Yeah.
Like it just – and I keep bringing this guy up because that's always what I thought when I watched Mariano Rivera pitch. For those that watched him pitch, he threw the ball very hard, but he never looked like it was max effort. Like you could – like, again, Logan is a guy you can see when he is – pumping it up there at 99, hitting triple digits, 98, 99. He looks like he's putting everything into it. You can see it.
He's throwing hard.
You're seeing the limbs and the body, everything. You can just tell he's putting everything into that versus Rivera looked like it just popped out of his hand. It was sizzling up there, and that's Brian Wu. He just kind of glides. It's a very smooth, effortless look to the way he throws that fastball.
Yeah. And then our guy, Mitch Garver, had a screamer that
down the line
made it over the fence, and it was nice to see. So good things happening last night in that tie.
Yeah, so we'll the text line is there for you at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. It is Friday, which means we do have mean texts, so you can get those going, get creative with your mean texts, and see if do you have any belief that they'll be more astute, more alert, more aware, Lefko, now that we're not in the building, or that makes no impact on their...
I think they're worse.
You think
right?
they're worse?
I think they're going to be as good as this weather is right now.
Well, this weather's awful.
Right. So they're going to be awful.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They're going to be awful. Prove him wrong. I believe in them. So
Do you ever have they ever rewarded you, Bob, with that?
sometimes we've had a couple good ones. We've had some good ones come in. They're not all gems. They're not batting 1,000, but there's been some solid ones we've laughed at and gave a tip of my tiny hat to.
Yeah. I think they tend to go after me and Lefko, but that's because Lefko and I understand exactly how stupid they are. Whereas Bob maybe doesn't.
I don't quite get it.
You know what? Supposedly Matt Nelson took off today to go to Emerald City Comic-Con. I think he took off to just try to think of mean texts for the entirety of 3.5 hours of this show.
He's going to get 10 different phones and try to come in from different numbers.
Is he going to be able to text while wearing a stormtrooper costume?
I picture Matt dressed up like Mr. Spock. He's got the pointy ears.
Maybe he's
the
Yoda.
Star Trek.
He paints his face green. He's wearing. I don't know. That's why Matt Nelson, by the way, has been gone yesterday and today. I don't know. Is it a 3-day thing?
Goes until it stops.
Yeah, they're gonna have to kick him out of the building.
Maybe we should just make the whole theme for Mean Text all about Matt.
Matt and his Comic-Con appearance.
There's a less than 0% chance that he is listening to our radio show.
Oh, it's all 4 days, Thursday through Sunday.
And he goes for all. I mean, he takes vacation days to go. It's not like, I'll catch it on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. No, he is Thursday through Sunday.
He's committed now.
And I'm assuming in full costume. Now, which one it is, I don't know.
4 different ones.
He's got a different costume for every day.
Well, you'd never be able to recognize him. He's probably so dressed up, like you said, Yoda or whatever.
You'd love to see Matt as Yoda. That'd be so great.
Or what about those little furry bears that were on Star Wars 2 or whatever it was? Remember the
You just call the Ewoks furry bears?
Ewoks? Yeah.
Ewoks.
We gotta save this clip and play it for Matt.
Yeah. He'll be really
he
annoyed.
will lose his mind.
It'll be what the hell an Ewok is.
A massive eye roll from him, like, you idiot.
Furry bears. Is there any other kind of bear?
No, I think
Aren't
most
they
of
all
them are furry. I don't think there are any hairless bears running around that I'm aware of anyway. Somebody will text in, you idiots, did you know about the hairless bear of Canada? So the text line is there for you. You got a lot of material at your disposal. 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. So there's the news again, in case you missed it. George Kirby being shut down from throwing due to some inflammation in the shoulder. Again, the MRI revealed no damage, no structural damage, just they're erring on the side of caution, trying to get that inflammation out. And Emerson Hancock goes. But again, Brian Wu last night, 2 1/3, no runs, 1 hit, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. And that's a guy that we've talked about, in addition to everybody else, but a guy that probably doesn't get the singular conversation that we have about Logan, that we have about Kirby, that we have about Castillo even. And he was just phenomenal last night. And I can't wait to see if he can stay healthy for the entire year. The sky's the limit for him. I just think he's got some special stuff, and it was on display last night.
Yeah, it's funny. Remember a couple of years ago when Robbie Ray was out there, and it was impressive to watch him.
Oh yeah,
throw as hard as he throws, and then the just max effort and
the yelling,
and all of that. But whenever I watch him, I was like, man, I always felt like he was one pitch away from getting hurt.
And then
And he did. You know, he was, I don't know how many pitches away he was at that point. But, yeah, I mean, you look at Wu, and it just looked effortless.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun to watch. It really was. And that was, you know, there was a lot of eagerness to see him out there from some of the media that's out here. And it paid off. I mean, he was special last night. And that's a guy that, you know, you look back at the offseason, and we were talking about the idea of them trading one of the young arms. It felt like, you know, obviously Castillo's name got thrown out there, and that became the hot name. But there was conversation for a while about, well, do you give up one of the young arms? Do you give up Miller? Do you give up Wu? And you look at that now and go, man, as much as they need a bat, and I still believe they do, you know, we'll see what this lineup does. But you watch that last night, and especially with what's going on with Kirby at this particular moment, I'm really excited that they didn't give up one of their young arms.
Yeah, and it'll be a good opportunity for Emerson Hancock as well, just to see, you know, because we saw him briefly. But, yeah, it does kind of bring back into focus, though, how important this rotation is, you know, and the team is banking on that, you know. So that is one part of it. But, I mean, if it's going to happen at any point, definitely. You know, I'm just trying to think what would be the equivalent of, like, if somebody, you know, on the Seahawks during one of those preseason games are just so meaningless, and, you know, you could try to get an idea of what a player is all about. But you know, the other thing I would say is I don't think that the rotation having the health that they've had is by chance. It's not luck necessarily. I mean, a certain amount of it is good luck, but the way that they handle their rotation and the way they handle their pitchers, and, you know, everything from the training room to how the coaches, you know, will shut them down, and it's not by chance. It's, I mean, some of it is.
You think they've got the special sauce?
Well, I don't know about special sauce, but however they manage those guys. I mean, I think, and a lot of it is knowing your player, right? Knowing exactly, you know, it's if a you know, like Kirby right now, I mean, I'll bet you he could go out and pitch and have no problems, you know, but they know how to handle him. And then just, you know, the things that they go through, and maybe some of it is a little bit of an effect of Logan Gilbert, you know, of him, all the stuff that he does, because you see the other pitchers out there doing all of those kinds of things. So they're putting lots of extra work in it. I think the coaching, you know, the way they handle them, the training room, the way they hold them back. It's not, you know, some of it is good luck. It's good fortune, but a lot of it is that's what they do here. They do a good job with that.
Yeah, we were watching some of the relievers late afternoon yesterday working, and I think it was Troy Taylor, and somebody else that I didn't recognize was out here, and they had the water, I don't know what the heck you even call it.
The water bag?
It wasn't even a bag. It looked like a water tube. It was a firm plastic tube that had red liquid in it. It looked like Hawaiian Punch in there. And they were doing the Logan exercises out there, and then they had a different water bag. So I don't know if they were borrowing his stuff or maybe they've got their own, but it was a pretty unique. Some of the equipment you see these guys working with, and more importantly, some of the exercises they're doing with them, going, okay, what is that benefiting? You know, what that looks like, I guess, core maybe, and just watching how unique it is. Some things you've never seen, and been watching this game a long time and going to spring training and seeing different guys work out and do their thing. And yeah, every year there's something a little unique about how these guys go about their business. And that looked like somebody who was either borrowing Logan stuff or has been influenced by Logan in a very big way.
I think it's interesting that your brain went to Hawaiian Punch.
It's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, why not red Gatorade?
It could be red Gatorade. It could be.
What's the deal with Hawaiian Punch anyway? Is it carbonated?
No.
It's like very lightly carbonated maybe? Who drinks Hawaiian Punch?
I don't know.
Children.
Yeah.
Children?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe our texters will text it.
Hawaiian
Do you guys
Punch.
drink? Is that still a thing? Hawaiian Punch? I don't know. Maybe that's an old school reference. Maybe it was red Gatorade.
Maybe it's a big stoner drink.
That's why I threw it out there, Dave.
Yeah.
866-979-3776 is the text line for you. Let's take two.
Well, the A's made a big move last night, signed another one of their young stars to a long-term deal. They locked down Lawrence Butler to a 7-year, $65.5 million deal. This comes on the heels of, in January, they signed Brent Rooker to an extension.
And they signed a pitcher, and the A's are spending money. The A's are locking up their guys. They're locking up Butler. They're locking up Rooker. They're bringing in free agents. And They do it all in the year that they head to Sacramento. I'm telling you, if I were living in Oakland and I were a diehard A's fan, I would be so pissed at the ownership. I would already be mad at ownership, but this would just fuel my fire even more.
It's as if they hate their fans. It really is. I remember asking JP the other day, John Paul Morosi, it's like, what are the Oakland A's doing? What are they doing? I mean, why all of a sudden?
Seems like they're trying all of a sudden.
Yeah. I mean, where's this coming from?
They're spending money, and they're spending more than a lot of teams, including the one here. I mean, it's very un-A's-like in what they're doing, and they're doing it going into a minor league ballpark that they're going to be in for the next 3 seasons before they go to Vegas. So I guess congratulate. I don't know if you're an A's fan. I don't know how you feel about this. If you're mad or you're still going to root for them when they go to Vegas. You can't be mad at the players. It's not their fault. But yeah, just the timing of it just kind of stinks as far as I can tell.
It was a busy now 24-plus hours for the Commanders. They first signed Bobby Wagner to a 1-year, $8 million deal yesterday, and he can reach up to $9.5 million with some incentives. And then today they cut 2-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Jonathan Allen, so the Commanders save $16.3 million in cap space with that move.
I saw they were trying to trade him. He wanted to be traded first, and he's one of those guys we talked about recently about their defensive line being 4 first-rounders. They put a lot into that, But, yeah, signing Bobby, he's going to keep going, man. I'll be very curious to see, like, what year is this going to be for Bobby? Will be
29.
13, maybe 12 or 13?
I think it's.
Anyway,
yeah.
Is he going to play 100% of the snaps? Because that's what he's trying to do. We talked about that and what that means to him. And, yeah, I'll be very curious to see. I think he's slowed down, and there's been problems every once in a while in coverage. He's not the same, but that happens to everybody. But as far as like his health, I mean, it's remarkable what he's been able to do.
Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Coming up, John Schneider laid out the situation for us. So what ultimately ends up happening with DK Metcalf? We're going to get into that next as we continue live from Peoria, Arizona. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
The John Schneider Show.
With Wyman and Bob.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
You're down at the Combine. What's the biggest priority that you want to know about these players?
Yeah, I would say having our coaches here this year, interviewing the players in person and watching them interact, how they respond to the teaching, and can they teach the coaches. That's probably the most important thing this year. We didn't bring the guys last year because everybody was just installing our systems and getting going. So it's pretty cool having those guys here this year.
Hear the rest of this interview on demand at seattlesports.com and on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades with no cost until close. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
We at 3 Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Over the past decade, Washington state politicians have doubled state spending with no improvements to the issues we care about. Instead, we now have the third highest cost of living in the nation and a $12 billion deficit. It's time to tell legislators we need better results, not bigger taxes. Act now at affordablewashington.org. Paid for by people for an affordable Washington and Olympia, Washington. Top 5 donors are Washington Alliance for Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Alaska Air.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pen cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, 149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price. What? They got hidden fees, that ain't nice.
Ain't nice.
Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. 149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 2 tickets to see Dave Matthews Band at the Gorge Friday, August 29th. Head to seattlesports.com/win to enter and see contest rules. That's seattlesports.com/win for your chance to win.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. It's Mike Salk here, and this summer you can experience breathtaking Cascade views, world-class dining, and of course the best entertainment. Elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. The hotel opens this summer with deluxe king and 2 queen rooms, premiums, grand suites, signature suites, and the breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. For more details, go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Jackson Hewitt wants you to save money on tax prep. We're saving money by having our intern rap in this commercial.
Don't stress, Jackson Hewitt's got expert tax prep, 149 or less. Yo, some tax guys lie about price.
What?
They got hidden fees, that ain't nice.
Ain't nice.
Don't ignore MC Kevin's rhyme, cause this deal's for a limited time. 149.
For tax prep that's $149 or less, hurry into Jackson Hewitt today.
No cap.
Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Kinematics Marine Equipment reminds parents to enroll your kids in a positive youth program. Sports, hobbies, and community activities improve overall health and performance in school. These programs decrease drug use and violence and develop self-discipline and leadership skills. Let's team together this year to help our kids reach their full potential. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Kinematics Marine Equipment, your nationwide source for marine deck gear for over 40 years. Online at kinematicsmarine.com.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company, as we continue live from Peoria, Arizona, on a very wet, rainy, windy day out here. I still think they'll get the game in, I'm hoping. A lot of people bought tickets to watch this Dodgers team without their stars, so we'll see if they get that going. Mean texts are there for you, as well as a lot of Hawaiian Punch references.
Oh,
a lot
is
of
that
people with some thoughts on Hawaiian Punch. Somebody saying, the only time I ever had Hawaiian Punch is when it was mixed with other things like grain alcohol in college.
In college, yeah. It's funny. I was just telling you guys, do you remember the commercials where there was some violence? There was some punching going on, and there's the little cartoon.
You just showed it. I had never seen that before.
How about a Hawaiian Punch? And he smacks the guy.
Just
awful.
Just sucker punches a guy who's not ready for it.
Wanton violence. I'm against that.
That's how you move product, Dave. Violence. So, yeah, it's funny how when you play that, you can tell it's the old timey commercials. What is that? Is that 70s or is that 80s?
70s, 80s.
Yeah, that's a goofy commercial. So, anyway, we did catch up with Bryce Miller during the commercial break, so we are hoping to have him in about an hour from now. So, around 3:30. So somewhere there, whenever he gets done, we're at his disposal. So Bryce Miller will hopefully be joining us on the program. In addition to the guests, if you're just tuning in, that'll be joining us. Dan Wilson will be with us at 3 o'clock. We'll have Mitch Haniger at 4 p.m. J.P. Crawford making a rare appearance at 5 p.m. And, again, mean texts are there for you at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac & Jack's Brewing Company. That'll happen at 5:15 because at 5:30 we are going to turn you over to the Mariners-Dodgers matchup here in Peoria, Arizona. Meanwhile, we spoke with John Schneider yesterday. A lot of news coming out of that conversation. Even Pat McAfee had our lovely faces on his show today. How about that?
I don't know about lovely.
The funny thing is, as we were speaking with John, was when the wind was blowing extremely hard and there was dust everywhere, dirt being blown in our faces, and there's some funny faces being made there.
Yeah, there is.
So check out the video.
I look, as Dave Craig used to call it, the constipated look that you get.
It is pretty funny if you checked out the video. Plus, it's good information from John. But we talked to him about, hey, what led to this? Is the relationship salvageable? Here he is, just confirming that they are in fact taking a look at trade offers for DK.
Everything's in a very cordial, professional place. Obviously DK has requested a trade. And we are, entertaining that. We are talking to a ton of teams, taking offers, seeing what that looks like. And, here we go. I mean, you always have to do the thing to understand here is that, our responsibility to, Jody Allen, the 12s, first and foremost is doing what's absolutely best for the organization. And then B, what's best for the player. Hopefully, both those things merge, and it's an ideal situation. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Hopefully in this situation it does, and that would be great. But worst case scenario, I mean, we have a amazing, explosive, powerful athlete playing receiver for us again in 2025. So we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, he's making it very clear, because part of the report is, well, DK would prefer to be traded to a contender. And again, I didn't take that as a shot at the Seahawks saying they're not a contender. I took that as, I want to be traded,
but not Cleveland.
But don't send me to Cleveland or Jacksonville. Send me to a contender. But I think he's making it crystal clear. Our priority is us and our team, as it should be. I mean, it should be obvious that we're going to do what's best for our team, and if it lines up that you would go to a contender and we get the package we want in return, then everybody wins. But if we get the package we want and it's coming from Cleveland or it's coming from Jacksonville or Carolina or whoever, then so be it. I mean, that's just you want to work it out for everybody, but the priority is this team.
Of all the things that he could have said, it was perfect.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought he did a great job explaining that, and he'd probably say, "Well, Dave, I've been doing this for a long time." But I mean, that's number one, the fans, and we'll see how the fans react. That'll be interesting, and especially if he were to come back. And Moyer, when we talked to him, I thought it was very cool the stuff he said, because he even said that about Tyler Lockett, that you could, and we talked about that at the end of the show, that it could be DK and Tyler back playing for the Seahawks next year.
We asked John
not
about
out of
that.
the question.
We asked him about the idea that is it realistic that Tyler could be back under a certainly different contract structure, and he said, we tell guys to go out there and test the market and see what's out there, and you never know what's going to happen. They could end up back here in some different way, but it's very realistic. I wouldn't say likely, but realistic that they could both be back here. We'll see. I'm going to guess that Tyler's going to end up on another team. That's the more likely. Now, whether they can work out a trade that is, appealing to them, that's the more of a wild card. I think there are going to be multiple teams that'll be interested in Tyler Lockett. So
yeah, absolutely.
We'll see. But we talked about, is there any fear if DK is back? You got a disgruntled employee on the roster. Any fear that, he's going to be a problem or anything like that? Here's what John had to say about it.
No, I think DK's a very good communicator. He's a guy that understands the business. He's a businessman himself. So, I think he understands that we're going to head down this road. He understands that we're going to do what's best for the organization, and that if things don't fall, the way, he may want, that he's there's a good chance he could end up being here. And so, and at that point, we all turn the corner and move forward. So, yeah, that's the way it works. He's through this whole process, he's been extremely professional and respectful.
Well, and I think a lot of people go, oh, he's going to be here, he's going to be disgruntled. What does that mean? What does that look like? I mean, you think he's going to run sloppy routes? You think he's going to not give max effort? Do you think he's not going to run down Buda Baker? I mean,
he wants a new deal.
Yeah, well, but why would he do that, right?
Well, he's trying. Yeah, if anything, maybe you get the best version of him because he's trying to show whether it's the Seahawks or the next team he goes to. Here's what you're getting, and here's why I'm worth whatever, $30 million a year or whatever he wants. So.
Everything you put on tape is for everyone else to see.
Yes.
And, and I have to say that a fair amount of it is your peers.
Mm-hmm.
You want some of the best compliments I ever got. I mean, if you have a fan come up, I mean, that's always cool that it comes up and says something. But when one of your peers comes across the field and says, hey, man, I think you do a good job. I see you on film. Wow. I mean, that's what every player, I mean, obviously you're playing for money, but those are the kinds of things that money can't buy. And, that's the way the NFL weeds out guys that aren't like that. I'll put it that way. And so, if DK's on the team, whether or not he comes out and says, I'm happy to be here, whatever, if people are assuming he's disgruntled, I just would challenge you, what do you think that looks like? DK out sabotaging his own career? So I mean, look, it very well could be. It very well could be that the DK's back on the team next year.
Yeah, and if he is, I've got zero fear he's a problem because it works against his own best interest, right? Again, we don't know what led to this whole thing, if it is about money, if they did have contract discussions and the Seahawks weren't financially where he thought they should be in terms of an offer. He wants to prove he's worth whatever that number is he's got attached to him.
Right.
He's not going to achieve that number by going out there and stinking it up because he's trying to show him he's mad. So, yeah, anybody who's fearful of the idea that if he's back he's going to be a problem, I'm exactly the opposite. I think you could potentially get the best version of him.
I brought up the Buda Baker play. That's all you need to know about DK.
Yeah.
And he is still that guy. I don't understand why people have gotten kind of sideways with him. I mean, I think maybe they think he's being selfish by starting his own little petty fights on the field. And look, that was, Mike, what did you say? There was 3 in the last 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, that's it. I think 3
or is his
taunting penalties. That's
taunting
it.
For his career.
Didn't have one this season.
Yeah.
Got only one unnecessary roughness penalty this season.
Which was for blocking somebody too hard and hurting their feelings. So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you looked that up. I mean, it seems like, he's always blowing his top. Really? That's not what history says. I mean, that's not what happened.
Yeah, one more quickly before the break here, just in terms of timing, when we asked John about when do you need to know one way or the other what's going to happen, whether you trade him or you keep him, here he is outlining the timing on when a DK trade would have to get done.
Yeah, I would say before the draft. You definitely want to know what's going on before draft time, because he's such an important part of our team, the organization, the offensive philosophy that these guys want to move forward with. Our new coaching staff. We want to know how we're going to compensate for his loss if he's not with us.
Yeah, which makes sense, and
Sure does.
Presumably any trade he's involved in is going to involve draft picks that apply to this year's draft. So, yeah, draft in April, you expect this to get done one way or the other. Some resolution, he's going to be here this year. We'll see where it goes, or we've made a deal and here are the parameters. So we'll find out soon enough what the future of DK Metcalf looks like with the Seahawks. Meanwhile, he could be one of the biggest potential X factors on this Mariners roster this season. Tell you who we're talking about next. It's Wyman and Bob live from Peoria, Arizona, Seattle Sports on 710.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
What part of football has changed, and do you like it?
2-point conversions. Like, we are chasing points. The game has changed. 2-point conversions and fourth downs. So we're seeing coaches dive into the data like a lot of people do with baseball. And I like it, and it is weird at the same time because I'm not used to seeing these fourth down conversions or attempts and these 2-point conversions.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
At Chain Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Chain Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Febreze.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Seattle Sports is in Arizona for spring training baseball. Go behind the scenes with Wyman and Bob all this week from 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from.
Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Well, one of the best parts of being at spring training is seeing how physically impressive the professional athletes are up close. It's Mike Salk here, and coming off a long off season with something to prove, it's so clear these guys are in peak physical condition after months of hard work. Now, us regular folk may not have quite the same resources, time, or money to devote to our diet and exercise. But what if I told you you could be in the best shape of your life, just like some of these guys are, in only 45 days? That's all it takes after losing almost a pound a day with the help of Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. It worked for me. 10 pounds in the first week, 35 pounds after just 8 short weeks. I felt healthy. I was eating delicious, fresh meals, no pills, no injections, didn't even need to exercise. Find out if you can do it. A 15-minute call is all it takes. No obligation. Schedule it right now at EastsideWeightLossClinic.com. You got nothing to lose other than all that extra weight. Go to EastsideWeightLossClinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
You're listening to Wyman and Bob
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, the players are getting out here in the cold weather. The rain is stopped for now, which is good news, and hopefully it'll stop for good. So everybody's out here warming up, getting ready. So good news. See that. Again, a game scheduled to go tonight between the Mariners and Dodgers. We'll turn you over to that game at 5:30. We've got Dan Wilson coming up. We got J.P. Crawford coming up. We got Mitch Haniger coming your way. Hopefully Bryce Miller, maybe somebody else if we can track down it. Edgar Martinez remains the most elusive figure in this building. He's very, very slippery. Very slippery, that Edgar.
Every time I walk past him, he nods and has a
he's
smile.
super friendly.
I don't know where he's going.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing.
Well, here's the thing is he was everywhere until I asked him about coming on the show, and now I can't find him anywhere. So I think he's hiding. I don't know. We'll find out. Meanwhile, we had a chance to catch up with Mitch Garver, a guy we don't hear from very often, and a guy that this team is definitely hoping can bounce back and be close to the guy they were signing when they brought him over here after a rough season. And he talks about the defensive side of things as a backup catcher, and he kind of became the personal catcher, if you will, for George Kirby, and talked about an adjustment he made with him.
When I started catching again, George was having kind of a tough time. You know, he couldn't leave the strike zone, wasn't getting the swing and misses that he really needed. I think he got banged up for a few starts. So when I went in there, the first game we started was against Houston, obviously. Threw a really great game. I think he punched out 6 or 7, got through 6, gave us a chance to win the game. And, I told him, I'm like, George, I'm going to go down in the tunnel where you sit in between innings, and we're going to talk. And because that's something he doesn't really do. And I was like, I'm going to go down there, and we're going to be like, hey, these are the next 3 hitters. Bang, bang, bang. We go over them. We talk about the next inning. We talk about the previous inning, say, hey, this worked. This looked good. Let's run this out for a little while. Whatever it may be. And I think that line of communication helped him a little bit. It was like, we're going to talk about things in the middle of the game. And that's how you learn who they are as a pitcher. That's how you learn what they can and can't do. And I think George is a guy in particular, like, he can do anything that you ask him to do. He can throw any pitch in any location, and that's what makes him special. So it's like you really have to be a catcher with an imagination and go out there and push the limits on what this guy can do, and he can do anything.
It's a very catcher attitude. Like, here's how it's going to go. I'm going to tell you.
I love that. That's like Cal with Matt Brash.
Yeah.
I remember Blowers was like, oh, by the way, I'll be doing all the talking when he was describing that.
Although I'd say dealing with Matt Brash decidedly easier than George.
Yeah.
We had Matt Brash on yesterday. If you missed that conversation, it was really good. You can find it on the podcast page. But just a very accommodating, nice kid. Whereas, George has got an edge to him, and he's got a routine, and he's got in his head how things are going to go or they should go. And to have Mitch come in and go, no. Here's how we're going to do this.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and and the fact that Kirby just kind of went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that conversation happening, like him like swallowing hard, going, oh, okay.
Well, and then
Mr. Garver.
to have success, though,
Yeah.
on the heels of that, to go out there and, as he said, I don't know what the exact box score was, but to give 6 innings, no runs, strike out 6 or 7, that goes a long way into convincing him, all right, yeah, maybe this is the way I should be handling this.
Yeah, and the question, what did we learn about Mitch Garver? That story tells a lot, but then just the way he carries himself around here, he's a very serious guy, and I love seeing him getting that home run last night. But you'd love to know that there are catchers that are, bringing the younger guys along, especially a guy like Kirby, and that Kirby, ultimately listened to him. So yeah, cool stuff. I think, we get our ideas of who the leaders are. JP, who we'll talk to, he's a leader. Cal, so it's nice to know that you don't have to have just like 1 or 2 leaders. You can have 3 or 4 guys that do it in a different way.
Yeah, and I'd throw Mitch Haniger in there too. He's a guy that you'll hear that conversation coming up as well, and talks about working with young guys and giving advice, seeking advice, all that. So
he lit up when we asked him about the young guys.
Yeah, so you got a few guys that have some cachet with the younger guys here. And in case you missed what that Garver home run sounded like last night, here it is.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, crushed down the left field line by Garver, tailing towards the line, and it is gone. It's fair and gone. Home run. Mitch Garver, 2-run blast, and the Mariners take the lead. It's 4-2. Mitch Garver continues to sizzle this spring.
That's good news. They need him.
That was a line drive.
Oh yeah, it was on a line, and it was great to see. And for anybody who's, mad about who these guys were last year, you got to let that go. I was right there with you, trust me. But they're on the team. They're paying these guys, and you need them to come through in some way, shape, or form. And really cool to see him do that. Again, we keep spring training stats in perspective, good or bad. Keep them in perspective. But I think for any guy that struggled last year the way he did, or Mitch did, or any of these other guys, I think just seeing something like that, you're feeling good about things. I don't think they're going to get caught up in their what is my batting average? What's my on base? But just feeling like I'm squaring the ball up, I'm seeing the ball. That goes a long way.
Yeah. So that's a position that is just entirely locked down with Cal. But good to know that you have a guy like Mitch Garver, who's just a different personality, because you got. I don't know. Maybe Cal, it doesn't have that same conversation with Kirby. Maybe it's just a difference in, and I'm not saying Cal can't be forceful, but I don't know, maybe it just doesn't happen. And maybe I think the way a lot of it, like I said before, is the way that Garver carries himself, is that you just know he's somebody who you should respect. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that inside that clubhouse, everybody knows that even more.
All right, coming up, he's been part of many spring trainings before, but none quite like this as a manager. Mariners manager Dan Wilson. You're going to hear that conversation coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
We are now speaking with the architect of your Seattle Seahawks.
How we doing, football fans?
With Seahawks president of football operations and general manager John Schneider.
My job is to do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks organization. I have to keep wrapping my mind around that and trying to communicate effectively.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's the standard the Seahawks defense needs to be held to under Mike McDonald?
The John Schneider Show.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah. Posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save over $1,000 in your first year versus other major carriers. Plus, ask how to get iPhone 16e on us. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rate supply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual savings vary.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory is a little different. We actually reach out to the small business world, to Joel Taylor and Sean O'Donnell from Sean O'Donnell's Restaurants. Sean, when Joel brought this to you, the idea of why don't we take this First Mark Challenge victory, what was your thought?
My goal was to save some money and to simplify our operations. We've got 6 locations now, and along with that comes complications. And when things get complicated, things that are important get forgotten. First Mark was able to simplify that and also save us money.
Not only have they saved us money, they helped us identify some blind spots in our policies. Their service team has been phenomenal, unparalleled in my experience, given us a lot more solutions with better coverage, and just made too much sense.
First Mark's just made it easy for us.
So if you're a business owner and your insurance is in need of simplifying and streamlining and eliminate the stress, do what Sean O'Donnell's Restaurants did. Reach out to First Mark Insurance. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance, your teammate in the business world too, going to work for you.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. The season's next tryout for adults ages 18 to 65 and older is this Saturday, March 8th at Hogan Park at Russell Road in Kent. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school and even former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement, but you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring? As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise, and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale, handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Things are just better when you switch to Cricket. The sun shines a little brighter. Happy music starts randomly playing. Best of all, you can get iPhone 13 for just $29.99. With the ultra-bright Super Retina display and up to 19 hours of video playback, all on Cricket's super-fast 5G network. See? Isn't that better? Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new account imported on $60 plan. First service charge taxed with sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or in third-party delivery platforms.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, Cleveland Browns owner Jimmy Haslam recently declined a request to meet with Myles Garrett amid the star pass rushers trade request. This, according to a league source speaking with ESPN. NFL Network first reported that Haslam declined Garrett's request to meet and directed him to speak instead with GM Andrew Berry, who oversees football operations. A Browns spokesman declined to comment on the situation, so that does not appear to be getting any better. Meanwhile, one of the most popular and recognizable faces and names in the very short history of the Seattle Kraken is moving on. Veteran winger Brandon Tanev was dealt just ahead of this afternoon's noon NHL trade deadline from the Kraken to the Winnipeg Jets. Seattle, in return, is getting a 2027 second-round NHL draft pick back from the Jets.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We continue live from Peoria, Arizona. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. And look who's sitting in front of us now. We love talking to this guy. We get a chance to talk to him each and every year, even before you were the manager. It's still nice that you come to talk to us now that you run the whole show.
Oh, come on, Bob.
Dan Wilson is with us.
Always great to see you guys, both of you.
Great to see you. Hey, what is it like now? I'm sure you knew as a player, you've been in baseball your whole life, what it was to manage or had an idea of putting together spring training. But now that you're running the show, is there anything you went, whoa, I didn't know I had to deal with that? Or, I mean, you're running the whole thing now.
Yeah, it's a great question, and most days I'm kind of walking through a day, and there's something that I wouldn't have anticipated, or something that I wouldn't have thought about before. So every day there's something new to it, but I think there is a lot behind the scenes that you don't realize as a player, as somebody that's been a part of it before. But that's where you really have to lean on your staff and the people that help you, and the guys that we have here, the staff, do such a tremendous job of it. And Lou Boyd, who's kind of a first year in the big leagues guy, but has done it in the minor league side for a long time, has done a great job, setting the schedules every day and making sure everybody's where they need to be. And it's a big task, but that's just one example of this incredible staff that we have on all aspects of this, of the group, and couldn't do it without them.
I would think your answer would have been media by far.
He's always done that.
Stuff.
He's always been great with that.
Did you ever, when you were a player, think, was that a goal for you at the time, or were you thinking, I'm going to stay in as long as I can? And did you ever think you would be a big league manager?
That's a good question. As a player, I wanted to play as long as I felt like I could contribute and be a contributing member of the team. And then as you get out of it, you stay around the game because it's part of you. It's a big part of you and a big part of what your life has been. And for me, being able to do a little broadcasting and stick around in player development has been great. But as a player, I don't know that I ever thought about managing. It came up a couple of times. People said you should try it, but as a player, you just don't realize where things are going to be. And lo and behold, in August, it happened, and grateful for the opportunity. And grateful for the way the guys have responded, the staff has responded, and we're really looking forward to getting back north here in a couple of weeks and being ready to start the season, because I think our guys are really putting the work in, and they're getting to the point where we're getting ready for what we need to get ready for here at the end of March.
Are there things that you went through with Lou or other managers you played for where you think, man, I want to do that, I want to bring that element into this clubhouse, but maybe today's player doesn't respond the way you guys did?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that you take away, from different managers. I had Tony Perez in Cincinnati, and his big thing was fighting to the end. Playing hard all the way through 9 innings, and that's something that this team has done as well. Especially down that stretch last year, backs against the wall. These guys fought so often and all the way through a ball game. So that was a big thing. Bob Melvin was a manager I had here in Seattle, and his big thing was communication and having a good dialogue with players and helping them understand thinking and try to bring that as much as possible. And then of course Lou, who's the guy that I had here the longest in Seattle. He really impressed upon us the importance of today's game, and that nothing really matters until 7 o'clock that night, and that's the only thing that matters. And I think our guys really have a great understanding of that. And at 7 o'clock, it's time to go to battle. And I think that to me is really the core and the nucleus of what this team is about. Is that at 7 o'clock, we're gonna go out, we're gonna compete, we're gonna battle, and we're gonna play hard all the way through 9 innings.
Hey Dan, we were talking about like the traject machine. One time I interviewed one of the guys that videos all the Seahawk games, and he was saying there's almost too much information now because you can pull up every single play at the just swipe, and is there do you have to kind of limit that a little bit and kind of figure out like what, because there's so much information, you got to kind of narrow it down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, just like we're all different people, everybody wants something that's maybe a little bit different. And I think a lot of times some guys will position players especially will kind of lean toward more mechanical things that they want to look at in terms of their swing and whatnot. You'll have guys that want to look at more tendencies of the pitchers on the other side. Like there's just a lot of different things that guys will look for. And so I think it's important for a player to understand what it is that he wants and what helps him get into the right mindset to take the field. And information is definitely can be a big boost of that. It can also be a hindrance, like you mentioned. Like you get too much in there, you get paralyzed, paralysis by analysis, and you're not free to go out and play. So you do have to weigh the one with the other. I know especially as a catcher, wanting that game planning information, but not too much, because you could really get inside your head and start thinking too much behind the plate and not going with the flow of the game and the feel of the game that's so important. So it's definitely a balance, and I think there is so much more information, there is so much more technology, but using it in the right direction and using it in the right amounts is also and equally as important.
Is there anything that exists today that you wish was in place when you were playing, like even something as simple as pitch comm or some of the analytics that people really lean on? Anything you think that really would have helped me?
I think, you look at a lot of the tools they have, with the hitting, with the offense. I know I could have really benefited from a lot of that to help really improve, how you can, approach your swing, how you can look at your swing, some of the metrics that you can look at in terms of, your bat speed, that kind of thing. Like, I think that would, from a personal standpoint, would have been really, really helpful. Pitch comm would have been great. I think it would have, certainly eliminated a lot of stress of other teams getting your signs when they're standing on second base and whatnot. So that would have really helped. But I think the game has changed as it should, and I think the game has really changed over the course of time. In the 80s, it was more of the stolen base era. We had the home run era. We had pitching eras. I think the difference today is that the game changes. That it's so much faster. The rate of change in the game, and it used to take a decade for the game to change. Now it can take 10 minutes, and something's new, something's different. I think players have evolved, and I think the game is really in a good spot, and I'm excited to get this season started for sure.
Yeah, we just had Cal sitting here. Obviously, he's one of your leaders. But are there some younger guys that are kind of developing into that role, and guys that you think you can lean on to, convey a message or whatever as far as leadership goes?
Yeah, I mean, I think this game is interesting, and we've got a lot of guys in our clubhouse that I would give veteran status to. This is a group that's been together a long time, and those are the guys that are going to really take this team where it needs to go. But at the same time, as you mentioned, there's a lot of young players in our organization that, position player-wise, are very talented players, and these guys guys are kind of the sort of future down the road kind of guys that will be, kind of the leaders as it goes on. And we've gotten a chance to see some of those guys here in spring training, and I think it bodes well for the future of the organization. But the guys in that clubhouse right now, the guys that have been together for a while, that's where the leadership is, and that's where it's going to come from for sure.
You were here last year in spring training, obviously not as the manager, but you were around it and the vibe and everything. And now you're the manager this year. How different does it feel different to you? Is there more optimism? Is it more relaxed? How compare the two?
Yeah, good question. Hard to say. I think, spring training in and of itself is a little bit more relaxed. It's a little bit more laid back. But as you get closer to the beginning of the season, you get down to that last week, I think things, start to really tighten up that last 10 days where you're starting to make the fine-tuning, the finer adjustments to get ready for the season. And then you get into the season. So I think it feels very similar probably in a lot of ways to the way it's been. I think that bodes well for our guys. I think, you want them going into the season confident and loose and ready to fight. And I think that's where we're getting with these guys as we get closer.
What have been the characteristics of some of the teams that start fast, and how important is that to you to get going early on?
Yeah, I think we want to start off on the right foot. I'm looking at it more as, this is a team, our offensive approach, our offensive philosophy really is middle of the field, put pressure on the defense and make things happen. And I think that's a consistent brand of baseball that helps you start the season and go through, to the end of the season in a very consistent way. And I think that's sort of the goal. So, yeah, obviously we want to start out on the right foot. I don't know that fast is the great way to look at it, but we just want to play a consistent brand of baseball from beginning to end. And I think if we do that, we're going to be in a really good spot. And we got the talent. I think the way these guys have approached spring training, they are ready to do that. And we're going to be ready as it comes to March 27th at home. We're going to be ready to start that consistent brand of baseball and take it all the way through to the end of the season.
Does missing the playoffs by one game help crystallize your message of 162, where maybe maybe it doesn't have the same impact if you miss it by 10 or something? When you look at one game, you could go through the schedule and go, well, if we change this here, does it help enforce your message of every night matters?
Yeah, I think we've been talking about it a lot here in spring training, and it's been an emphasis for us down here, and that is just that little things matter. And when you're a team like the Mariners that has been so close over the last 3-4 years and has missed out by 1 or 2 games, an extra run here can make the difference in a season, really. And so our concentration has been on the little things, because the little things do make a big difference at the end of the day. And we play a lot of one-run games. We play a lot of games where they're won sort of in that 6th, 7th, 6 through 9 inning span of the game, to win those types of games, you have to be attentive to those little things, and so that's been a big focus for us, no doubt about it. And again, these guys have responded so well, and that's what we're looking at doing, and that's, to me, again, that's what that consistent brand of baseball from beginning to end is going to look like.
What can Edgar bring to these guys? I know he's been involved in the past, and do you have conversations with him, or do you pretty much know everything about Edgar?
Oh gosh, no. I think that Gar was my first call last year after this was official, and was super grateful that he was willing to jump on board, and his leadership on the offensive side has been incredible. And adding Kevin Seitzer, Bobby Magianis coming over from Atlanta, on the hitting side as well. These guys are such a great complement to Edgar, and the way he approaches things, they have fit right in, and I think if the guys have been great with the new coaching staff. So having Gar here, it's not it's not just the messenger. Not just the message that Gar brings, but it's the messenger, the way in which he delivers that message that's so impactful. And, these guys really, have listened to Gar and have really taken it to heart. And I give them all the credit. And we're seeing the results of that on the field. And as we get closer and closer to the beginning of the year, we're starting to see these at-bats get a lot better. And guys are getting their timing down and more consistent. And it's all been good. And I just really love the way Gar brings the offense to life. And, with Seitz and Bobby, that's just another extension of Edgar's voice. And I think offensively we're in a pretty good spot.
We've talked about some of the ifs on this team, and two of them are Randy Arozarena and Victor Robles. Didn't have them all season. You had Victor for 77 games. I believe Randy was 54 games, something like that. Now you look at him a full season, and one of the things we were talking about with Victor in particular is he was unreal in those 77 games, and we're going, is it fair to hold him to those? Almost a 400 on base, well over 330 stolen bases, and caught once. What do you think's a realistic expectation for a guy like that?
Well, I think with Victor and Randy, you mentioned also, I think just what they bring as players to our club is awesome. It's the energy they bring. You look at our outfield with Julio and Victor and Randy, a really dynamic outfield. Guys that can not only in the field run the ball down and catch everything that flies, but on the offensive side can really put pressure on a team. And when you have Vic at the top of the lineup, getting on base, doing what he does, Julio's going to see more mistakes because they're going to be worried about Vic. Randy's going to see more mistakes. It just plays so well into our hands offensively. So in terms of specific numbers, I don't know, but I think when you look at the complete package that it all brings together for us offensively, I think that's what is important. And I'm really excited about what these three guys bring to our offense.
Was there any one player that was a pleasant surprise that you think took a big jump in the offseason?
I think the one thing that has really stuck out to us, especially early on in camp, is how much work all these guys to a man has put in the offseason. Oftentimes you come down to spring training and there's a couple of guys that maybe are lagging a little bit in terms of what they did in the offseason, but not one guy were we thinking that about this year. And I think we have seen guys that have come to camp ready to go, not only physically but mentally ready to go, and that's been awesome to see. I think the one guy maybe in the bullpen that's jumped out a little bit has been Gabe Spire. He's a guy that's really thrown the ball well down here, and that's been good to see. I think we saw last year Bryce Miller make a big step on the pitching side in the starting role, growing and maturing into what he's done. So, everybody's getting better, and that's what you want in a clubhouse is guys who are looking to get better, and all our guys have over the course of the couple of years, and especially this offseason, they put the work in. They've come to spring training physically, mentally ready to go, and we're all getting really now it's a matter of kind of turning that focus into March 27th and getting the season started.
You feel like this is a better team than last year?
I do. I think, it's a team, number one, that's played together for a long period of time. They know each other. They can depend on each other. They know what to expect from one another. There's not a lot of getting to know people and that kind of dynamic. They all know each other. The pieces that we've added, Donovan Solano has been big for us, a guy that brings a lot of experience, a lot of leadership in the clubhouse, a guy that's been around the game for a long period of time, has seen a lot. He's a guy that's going to interject a lot of leadership into the club. So I think we're in a much better spot, and we're going to get a chance, as a group to get started here on the 27th at home, where we've played really well. We've played, a good baseball at home over the course of the last couple of years. So we're going to be comfortable, and I'm excited for where we're going. We still got some work to do down here, no doubt. We got to get to the point where, everybody feels comfortable. But come March 27th, we're going to be ready to play.
Pretty cool, all the different things that you guys have done here. Perry Hill has his own wall down there. So
no.
He used to throw it against the Legends wall here.
That's right.
But yeah, were you involved in that? Like, did they consult you? Like, hey, what do you think we can do as far as upgrading and
Yeah, it's I don't think I was really that involved, but Jack Mosselman, who does so much for our organization, was kind of the mastermind behind this, and actually really tried to include a lot of different people and a lot of different thoughts on what to do here. And the way in which the cages have a new look. We have a new turf look out here, which we have a much bigger work area. It has all been tremendous. It's just kind of added to what we've been able to do in spring training, and it just adds to the environment. It's a working environment down here, and this is a big reason why. So, kudos to Jack and all the work he's put into it, because it really is, has been such a big blessing for us, and guys were really excited when we got down here, and we've gotten to work, and we've used it for sure.
Plus, he has Tucker down here.
That's right.
That's Tucker's dad. That's a big part of it.
No
Tucker's
doubt.
dad. That's
Tucker's
right.
dad.
Hey, something I wanted to ask Cal, and we ran out of time, but as a catcher, he's got the same rotation, the same staff up there, so he knows these guys and what buttons to push with them. It would seem the challenge each year is the turnover in a bullpen. You get a lot of new faces, it seems, every year. How long does it take? Like, how challenging is it to know, all right, here's the new guy. I don't know what the right word is to say to get him back on track in a tough situation, or just knowing the right way to deal with each individual personality in a bullpen that seems to change a lot.
Yeah, it's a great point, and that is something that spring training is really good for. You get to know these guys on a different level. You catch them in a bullpen before they're getting ready for games. You might catch them in a live BP as well, so you're getting to know them a little bit there. Then your next step is to catch them in an actual game and see how things go for them. You can't replicate really a regular season kind of a feeling, but you get an idea of the way they're going to respond to things. And, I think those are the kind of things we still have yet to do here in spring training, is get some of those final details kind of wrapped up. And our bullpen is going to be similar. We do have a couple of new faces, but it'll be similar as well. So there is only a few kind of get to know people that needs to happen. But I think we're really, really lucky in Seattle to have a guy like Cal Raleigh, a guy like Mitch Garver as well. These, we talk about our pitching a lot, but our catching crew is very, very solid. And, you look at Cal and what he achieved last year, the Platinum Glove, that is tremendous. And Mitch, a guy that also brings a lot of experience to the position. Those two guys together, what a luxury to have those two guys catching the group that we have. We're in a really good spot with both of that, and that's a big part of the battle. So we're in a great spot.
Dan, how many games do you think you'll get thrown out of?
That's a good question. We were
just talking about cocky Cal. Like, that would be the weirdest thing ever.
I don't see that happening.
So humble. Don't see that happen.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. You never know. It's a long season. 162.
We're going to see a side of Dan we've never seen before. Right. He's going Lou Piniella, kicking the hat around the field. It's going to be good. Just don't miss.
That's right. Yeah. Those bases are bigger now, so I don't know if I can get those things out of the stake. We'll see.
Dan, we always appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for the time, and can't wait to see you out there at T-Mobile.
Guys, appreciate the time, and enjoy your time down here.
There you go. There's Dan Wilson, our conversation. We, again, just in the interest of full disclosure, talked to him yesterday before the news of George Kirby being pulled because of a little swelling in the shoulder there, a little inflammation, no damage. They did an MRI, so showed no damage, no structural damage. So hopefully just erring on the side of caution. Emerson Hancock gets the start tonight. So if you guys missed any of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, what is DK's true trade value? We're going to weigh in on that one coming up next as we continue live from Peoria, Arizona. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
We are now speaking with the architect of your Seattle Seahawks.
How we doing, football fans?
With Seahawks President of Football Operations and General Manager John Schneider.
My job is to do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks organization. I have to keep wrapping my mind around that and trying to communicate effectively.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's the standard the Seahawks defense needs to be held to under Mike McDonald?
The John Schneider Show.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
I've always said, the car sales in the 1980s and 1990s, earned the rep that we have today. The concerns that consumers have because of what has happened in our industry in the past, they're warranted. It's our job to show them that that's not how business is done anymore, right? It's very different business. It's much more transparent. There's much more information that's available to people, and we're much more customer focused than I think the car industry was, 20, 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm more focused on providing good customer service and relationships, because I think if you take care of people, money will always come. So I think just the philosophy and the focus for us has changed, where I was constantly chasing a paycheck, and now I'm just constantly trying to take care of customers and employees, because I know if I do that, then my paycheck will take care of itself.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Over the past decade, Washington state politicians have doubled state spending with no improvements to the issues we care about. Instead, we now have the 3rd highest cost of living in the nation and a $12 billion deficit. It's time to tell legislators we need better results, not bigger taxes. Act now at affordablewashington.org. Paid for by people for an affordable Washington and Olympia, Washington. Top 5 donors are Washington Alliance for Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Alaska Air.
Headed to the Sounder game this Saturday? Get down early and check out the Seattle RV Show. Sounders fans will be able to attend the show for just $5 before and after the match when they present their soccer ticket. More info at seattlervshow.com.
Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. This summer, experience breathtaking Cascade views and world-class dining. Elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost relaxation. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
Point.
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh,
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We are back live from Peoria, Arizona. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. And joining us here live on set is a man of many pitches. Everybody we talk to says, I don't know, he's got 9, 10, 12. I'm not sure how many pitches he has. Talking about Bryce Miller is with us. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
How many pitches do you officially have right now?
I have 7. So,
7?
Yeah, I ended the season with 7, but I think I took a lot of focus into the offseason on the cutter and the curveball, so they're kind of getting the attention right now.
You have a reputation of just going, you know what, I think I want to throw this, and all of a sudden it's mastered a couple days later. Is that a little exaggeration, do you think?
A little bit, yeah. No, that's how it worked with the curveball. Kind of just took it from Mike Bowman and threw it in the bullpen in Tampa and then threw it in the game the next week. But no, everything else, I think, like the splitter, it took all offseason, last offseason to get it down. But, you know, I like to tweak, like to try different things. And if I see somebody else having success with a pitch, like I try to do it too. But, yeah, I'm excited for a full season with all 7. I feel good with all of them. So we'll see what happens.
And every one of those pitches is different for every different pitcher, right? Like, is that right?
Sure.
I mean, are you like, okay, this is my brand, that's a little bit different than what other people are calling it?
Yeah, I think obviously every pitcher is different. It's hard to find an exact comp.
Yeah.
Kind of just depends on velocity, release angles, release height, and everything to try to find. Like, I can't just be like, I'm going to throw a Zach Wheeler two-seam whenever I don't really throw like Zach Wheeler. So you kind of have to take that into consideration when looking at other pitches and trying to steal pitches from other guys. But, yeah, everything's definitely different, and it plays different off of, like, your main pitches as well. So, obviously my main pitch has always been the fastball, the four-seam, and I try to play everything else off of it.
Do you go up to guys and say, I stole that pitch off of you?
I mean, I think Mike Bowman, he knows, but we do a lot of tweaking within us 5, and I think, you know, Logan and Kirby know that the splitter for me came from them, and just watching them have success with it in 23 was what made me want to add one for 24.
Is there a pitch you've tried to throw that you're just like, man, I just can't get it, I'm just going to ditch it?
The sweeper is like Yimi Garcia last year.
Yeah.
He has a really weird sweeper, and I don't know how he does it. It's got positive vert. It's like around 8 vert and close to 20 horizontal. For me, I can't even get to 0 vert. Like, it's like mine's going down, and his seems like it's going up. So I don't know how he does that, but him and Matt Brash, Matt Brash, his sweeper is one of a kind. So there's definitely those outlier pitches out there that maybe only 1 or 2 guys can throw.
Is that an arm angle thing, or is that just as much like the finger pressure is a little different?
Yeah, I think it's for Brash specifically. It's arm angle. It's he kind of has his fingers are kind of bent. I don't know how or why, but that helps him kind of really spin the ball.
You're saying they're naturally bent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant on the ball.
They're bent on the ball,
Yeah.
but like it's just whenever I try to do it like him, like I feel like my finger's gonna snap. So yeah, I can't do that. But no, it's always fun, you know, learning from everybody around the league and everybody within our organization, and we have a lot of talent obviously on the mound, and you can take a little bit from everybody.
Is part of it, this is kind of a naive question, I guess, but like, how much of it is trying to hide what you're about to throw? I mean, you're trying to make it look like one thing and it comes out another, right?
Yeah.
How much of it is that part of it that really makes the pitch hit home?
Yeah, I think for me, like I said, it's trying to get everything to look as much like a fastball as I can,
Yeah.
and then just have it not be a fastball is what I'm trying to do. So,
that's your base. You go, I want everything to look like a fastball.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I try to like set the foundation. Like I'm going to attack with the fastball, and then once that the hitters are like, all right, I'm going to get to the fastball. Then that's whenever I try to, mix it up, throw the curveball, splitter, get them to chase on stuff that's not a fastball.
Did you have you ever tried to throw a knuckler?
No.
No?
I mean, I've messed around with it like briefly, but I've never actually tried.
Because George obviously mixed it in, and everybody talked about that. I didn't know if that was something that you would try to work into the. How many options are on the pitch comp, by the way? Are you running out of buttons on there? Or?
I don't know. Somehow they're always on there. I don't know. I'll have to ask Cal if I add another one next offseason if it's on the pitch comp.
So that's something you just kind of joked around with? Did it move? Did it do what you wanted?
No, I've never really actually tried to throw one. Just in catch play, I'll toss one every now and then. But no, I mean, I think I'm at 7 right now. I don't really know besides the knuckleball what else I can add. I think I heard Darvish is throwing 11 right now. I don't even know 4 other pitches that I can throw. So I don't know.
Outside of a knuckleball,
yeah.
I guess you can throw left-handed.
Yeah. Start going lefty.
How would you portray your relationship? Paul's the guy you work with the most, right? So, is there humor? Is there during a game? Does it get intense? What's that like? And how important is that relationship with him?
Yeah, it's big. I think one of the main reasons why we've been so successful the last 2 years on the mound is because of Cal, and it's especially when you factor in the pitch clock that we have now. And all of us are throwing multiple pitches. It's difficult to, get up there on the mound with 15 seconds and, shake and go through different pitches. Like it's got to be, get a pitch and throw it. You don't really have time to sit up there and argue with the catcher.
Right.
And so that's been something that's been really good for me. Like just knowing that whatever pitch Cal calls, I can trust, and that he works harder than anybody else, and he knows, the situations and which pitches to throw for everybody, and that makes things a lot easier. But I'd say on the humor side, it kind of depends on the game and the situation. Every now and then he'll come out and not be too serious, but he's overall he's a pretty serious guy. So it's whenever that does happen, it kind of catches me off guard.
It seems like baseball loves it. The fans love it. How do you feel about the pitch clock? It does speed up the game, but there are certain pitchers that are more deliberate and want more time. And how do you feel about it?
I like it. I mean, I had it a year before everybody did because I had it in 2022 in the minor leagues, and so I was already used to it whenever I got up. But it's grown on me. I didn't like it at first just because that was like my main focus when I was pitching was watching the clock. But I think as I've gotten used to it and as the years have gone on, I've found ways to use it to my advantage as well. Like by holding the ball when the hitter can't call time, getting them, uncomfortable in the box after, they're sitting there waiting for me to pitch for 12 seconds or something. But yeah, there's different ways to look at it. Really the only time that it bothers me is whenever I'm running out of time, or like if they started a little early and I'm running out of time and I'm trying to get to a different pitch and I can't get to it, I just have to throw the pitch that whatever I have time for. So, and that's happened a couple times, but usually we're on the same page and that doesn't happen.
We talked to Ryan Dempster, who's a guy that pitched in the league for 16 years, and he was raving about you. And I don't know how much you've heard as far as the media stuff goes, but is that just kind of exciting, or do you pay attention to that, what everybody is saying?
No, I'm not sure exactly which one you're talking about. I try to stay out of the media and everything that's going on outside. I think a lot of that stuff, it can get to your head, and there's just a lot of stuff out there that isn't valuable to me. And really what it comes down to is, me versus the hitter and what I do this season. Like everything else, the outside noise isn't anything that I'm worried about. That's kind of, how the off season goes as well. Like trade talks, with all kinds of stuff. Most of that stuff's out of my control. All I can do is make sure I'm prepared and ready to go whenever I'm on the mound.
How'd you feel physically at the end of the year? Because you threw 50 innings more than you did the year before. Did you feel it, or did you feel like, hey, I still have gas in the tank?
No, I felt good. I think that was one of my main focuses last year, was to make sure that, like, I knew I was going into a full season. I was going to throw more innings than I'd ever thrown, but to make sure that, like, my body was ready to go and ready to handle it. And I think in 23, like, the last month or the last 6 weeks of the year, I was dragging, and, like, I could feel it. But at the end of last year, the second half of last season was it was the better part of the season for me. So I took a lot of pride and put a lot of work in to make sure that I was ready to go, as deep as I needed to.
Looks like you got lots of support from your family, people. How many games does your family come to or try to come to?
Yeah, it works out. Playing in Houston and Arlington multiple times a year, that's always big. I get to see a lot of people that don't get to travel, far to see me. My parents, they try to get to Seattle a few times throughout the year, and they also have been trying to check off stadiums that they want to see as well. So whenever, we have certain stadiums that they want to see, they'll make sure they get there, especially if I'm throwing. So it's, I have a great support system back home, and I'm super blessed for all of it.
Is there a team you're a little more juiced to beat? Is it Houston? I mean, for me, it's Houston because I hate them, but most people do. But do you get up for one team more than the other?
I would say really Houston and Texas. I think that's, those are the two teams I watched the most growing up. And I was 3.5 hours from Houston, 4 hours from Arlington, and watched a lot of the Astros games growing up. And so it's always fun, throwing against them, and especially being back in Texas. I have a lot of people at the games and stuff. So, but overall, I think that's one thing I tried to do, especially the second half last year, was to try to not put any extra importance on any particular opponent or at bat, and treat it all like it's the same thing, and just go out and compete like every game, no matter who it was.
Well, sub-3 ERA, 180 innings. I think it worked for you. So that's awesome. And we'll go ahead and hate the Astros for you. You just treat them like everybody else. But, Bryce, always good to talk to you, man. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes with us, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
There you go. Bryce Miller of your Seattle Mariners. A pleasure speaking with him. Coming up, two cornerbacks brought us plenty of material for WHYMAN. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk.
Mike Tirico, best in the business, just phenomenal.
And ditto back to you guys. I seriously do a bunch of these, and a lot of folks do a great job. You two as a combo in this show is really, really good. I hope the listeners enjoy and appreciate what they have, and I always love coming on with you guys. You're both wonderful, so thanks so much.
They don't. No, they just make fun of us all the time, so that's fine. Thank you for telling them that. Maybe somebody will finally convince them that that's true.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Getting engaged? At Shane Company, we'll help you find the perfect diamond. This is your engagement ring, aka only your life's most important piece of jewelry. No need to worry. As gemstone experts since 1929, we handpick only the most beautiful natural and lab-grown diamonds cut to our high standards in every price range. We have diamonds in all shapes and sizes, ready to compare side by side right here in our store. Come see for yourself at Shaneco.com or at your local store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Something amazing is happening in data management. Even though storage needs are constantly changing, companies are only paying for what they need now. That's because CDW customized a Pure Storage Evergreen One SLA-driven storage-as-a-service solution that delivers enterprise-grade hybrid cloud storage that is effortless, efficient, and evergreen. Simplify storage administration with Pure Storage and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/purestorage.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with turbo power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Yeah. Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Why, man? Why?
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
He's a habitual line stepper.
What were you thinking? What are you doing?
Why are you the way that you are?
It's the Why Man of the Week.
It is WHYMAN, presented by Mazda of Everett, and a couple of contestants today, a couple of new entrants into WHYMAN, and we played this one yesterday, and this is one that you listen to, and your first my first reaction is, what a clown. This guy is such a clown. He's a cheap shot artist. He's a good player, but he's a cheap shot artist. But then The other side of it is I love it. I love it because what it does is it brings back the sports hate between the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. Really a hate that's been missing since the departure of Harbaugh and Kaepernick and Crabtree and that group that it just was so easy to dislike them. And it was fun. It was fun to have that rivalry. It was fun to have those guys you just went, oh, I can't stand them. Now they got Mr. Lenore out there, their cornerback, who doesn't think too highly of JSN.
Y'all cannot let DK leave. Y'all can't do that. Who I'm gonna have, how am I have fun out there? Najigba, he be crying all day. He cry. That's all he do is cry.
Ref, he holding, ref. Oh no, don't hurt me.
Cry, baby. Bro, I'm not worried about JSN. I'm not. He know that. He know that. He know that. God, he know that. For sure. But back to DK. We can't let you leave, bro. Unless you want to be a Niner.
Bob, did he know that?
He know that.
You know that.
You know that.
You know that. Hey, maybe we can get also some Husky fans involved because he's an Oregon Duck.
Oh, even worse.
Make it even worse.
Even more reason to sports hate this guy. But yeah, I'm sort of torn, and I also can't stand him.
Yeah, and look, I think they paid him $90 million. I mean, I think it was over a 4-year period. It was a 4-year, $90 million deal, or maybe it was 3. Gosh, anyway. Guy makes a lot of money. He's had 6 interceptions in his career. He's a 5th rounder. I mean, these aren't Richard Sherman numbers.
No,
that's for sure. But yeah, I'm just curious about that. But yeah, I can't stand that guy. Ever since,
well, the Bobo thing was cheap. That's not even about it's fun to hate sports. That was just the act of a clown. You come in and sucker punch somebody who's in the middle of a pile and he's not even, his back is to you. That is a coward move.
You know, it's funny. After looking at Bryce Miller for that long, I can't see Jake Bobo's face. For some reason, they look a lot alike to me. But yeah, I mean, I get what he's trying to do and all that, but yeah, I just can't stand him. So yeah, good start, like you said, good start to maybe rekindling that. You know what would be better, though, is really if it wasn't that much. Because in order to have a good, healthy rivalry like that, there has to be some give and take, some losses. And remember, the Seahawks couldn't win in San Francisco for a long time.
Yeah.
So that made it kind of grow. But hopefully, maybe the Niners are on a decline right now. Maybe because they pay total idiots $90 million.
And I hope JSN is inspired by this. I hope he's motivated. Not that he needs extra motivation, but it would be fun. I will be looking forward to the matchup next season.
Yeah.
And just seeing, all right, let's see what happens. Let's see how this goes out there.
Well, the best thing JSN can do is entirely ignore it, right? Just act like it, or just, maybe he's like Bryce Miller.
Or embarrass him.
Hey, did you get real quick, did you get the impression that he wasn't quite sure who Ryan Dempster was?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe that'd be the best approach. What I was talking about is Bryce Miller there for our listeners. But, yeah, maybe that would be the best thing is just ignore it and don't even recognize it.
Yeah. All right.
JSN's obviously a tough guy.
Entry number 2 comes courtesy of a guy we know very well out here in Seattle. He's the guy never short on an opinion and thoughts and words, and that would be one Richard Sherman, who had some thoughts about the Seahawks releasing Tyler Lockett.
I don't know what it would take to retire a Seahawk at this point. For a guy to finish his career where he started, what they would have to accomplish. They always cut or trade their great players, and this is just another example of that. It's unfortunate, but the fans of the city are always like, man, it's better for us to get rid of them. It's like, I don't know how these other franchises have got away with guys playing 15 years with the same franchise and having some loyalty to them, but unfortunately, that's not the way it is with the Seattle Seahawks.
I don't know. How did the Patriots do?
Just was going to say
was that 6 titles?
They've always gotten rid of guys before they've
run into
started
the wall
to decline. Yeah. So I just have never gotten that impression. I don't know where he gets that from.
Well, I would love to talk to him and ask him, what is it you would let's put you in charge. You're the GM. You just hang on to everybody until the wheels come off and the salary continues to grow. because as a GM, you've got to adhere to the salary cap. And Tyler had a third, and nobody loves Tyler more than we do. We couldn't praise the guy more. But he had the third biggest salary cap hit on the team. So something had to happen. You knew it was going to happen. I just would be curious how Richard Sherman would conduct business as a GM when you have rules to play by. This isn't, well, this team loves their players more, so they're going to pay everybody and keep everybody, and this team doesn't. No, they all have that same number that they have to get up to, and unfortunately, that's how it goes. You know, that's it. He's not a stranger. He knows how it goes. So I guess I don't understand his rationale there.
Yeah, and I think there were times during his career when he wanted to be traded. And, you know, you hear these stories about how he wanted to be traded, and he was told no because I'm in charge of trades, not you, and we're not trading you. So, yeah, I mean, he is always and, you know, I think he was such a special player. He really was. But I don't know, he always kind of thought that he was a little bit smarter than everybody else. Mm-hmm. And I was sort of bemoaning that during the break. Yeah. The Stanford guys, I mean, yeah, you just give us a bad reputation because everybody already thinks that, oh, the Stanford guys think they know everything. Everybody, you know, especially one of my best friends, he got into this graduate school, and it was like one American per year gets in, and it's overseas, and those are the kinds of guys I played with. Mm-hmm. One of my best friends, Kurt Kohlhauer, just an incredibly talented guy, and he's like you. He'll like ask you a million questions, right? And it's like, whoa, let's talk about you. And he never wants to talk about himself. And he just, you know, very humble. And that's how every guy that because, you know, Stanford has that image. Same thing with Harvard or whatever. You get a player and you're like,
Ivy League
schools. He thinks he knows everything. And then Richard Sherman comes along and
he keeps perpetuating that stereotype.
Yeah. But no, I mean, ultimately I loved him as a player, and I think really when he breaks the wall down, he's a really nice guy. I remember talking to Sherm one time about his son, and he was reading Harry Potter to him, and you know, and I said I did the same thing with my son and everything, but but I don't know. He's kind of Stephen A. Smith with his opinions.
Yes, he is. All right. Coming up, what can we expect from Mitch Haniger this season? Well, we'll ask him. He's going to join us next here with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Clint Kubiak, your brand new OC, joining us right now in studio. What were some of the weapons here you were most intrigued by, or maybe you kind of started thinking once you knew you got the job, like, whew.
Obviously, it starts with the quarterback. Really impressed with Geno, DK, Jax, Noah Fant. There's a lot of pieces to be excited about, but there's also going to be some new pieces we add to the roster. That's the really fun part of coaching is getting to be a part of guys' careers.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Hi, this is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. Spring has sprung. Need color to brighten up your yard or privacy trees to keep your neighbors guessing? Now is the time to buy. With hundreds of trees arriving in the nursery daily, Big Trees has the perfect tree for you. Check out our updated inventory list online at bigtreesupply.com or come visit the nursery today.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah. Posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save over $1,000 in your first year versus other major carriers. Plus, ask how to get iPhone 16e on us. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment tax and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual savings vary.
Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For over 55 years, you've trusted us for roofing, siding, windows, decking, and gutters. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors.
If you're injured in the state of Washington, here's what matters.
Who represents you matters. The experience of their staff matters. Their investigation team and track record of success matters. Davis Law Group was founded in Seattle and has been winning cases for more than 30 years. We know Washington State, we know our courts, and we know how to deliver the highest level of client satisfaction. And that's what matters.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When it comes to great deals on tax prep, Jackson Hewitt isn't holding back, and neither is this commercial. Their offer is so big, it has to be said with Reverb. Expert tax prep for $149 or less. It's a deal so spectacular, it needs a symphony, some explosions, and a clock ticking, because this offer, $149 or less. And soon, one expert tax prep for $149 or less. Try Jackson Hewitt today and save. Whew. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Take your game day experience to the next level with a Mariner Suite. Suites are perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, client meetings, and that company outing you've been trying to plan for months. Enjoy first-class catering, VIP parking, custom setups for 14 to 400 people, and more, all with the help of a dedicated Mariners rep. Suites start at $125 per person, and season ticket members get 15% off. Reserve now at mariners.com/suites.
Munoz strikes out the side, and the ball game is over.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, breaking news just coming down. If you've missed this, the Seattle Seahawks are trading quarterback Geno Smith to the Las Vegas Raiders for a 2025 third-round pick. That's being reported by Adam Schefter, Tom Pelissero, Mike Garafolo, and the NFL and everybody else. So we'll break it all down next.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Well, the news is there, ladies and gentlemen, and there were rumors of it. We had seen suggestions of it, that perhaps the Seahawks, if they were looking for a trade partner, I was reading some of this on actually Bleacher Report the other day, people texting in about it. You know, what about Geno to the Raiders? I'm hearing it's going to happen. It's happened. Geno has been traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a third-round pick in the upcoming 2025 draft. This, according to all the usual, Tom Pelissero, Adam Schefter, everybody else. So it appears to be real, and wow. That one came out of nowhere, and we talked to John Schneider, not yesterday, but the week before, and asked him about Geno and said, we love him, we're working, we're talking. That was going to be their first, by the way, just a review. If you guys missed the previous John Schneider, previous to this week, we asked him specifically what's going on with Geno. He was going to meet with them the following day. So that was a Thursday. They were going to meet that Friday. He said it was going to be the first time that they were going to have a conversation and get a ballpark about, hey, what is Geno expecting? What are we? Here's what we're thinking, just kind of a let's put it on the table and then work from there. And I don't know. I don't know what happened, if the numbers were too far apart. Maybe Geno wanted $50+ million a year, and John and the organization said we can't and don't think that's the right route to go, and they elected to make a trade. So he is on his way to Vegas to be reunited with his former head coach, Pete Carroll.
Wow. I did not see this coming.
No.
And, like you said, maybe it is the dollar amount, which the next question is, does that mean Pete's going to pay him?
Well, Pete won't, but Mark Davis will, because he's going. That's in looking at Pelissero's tweet. He said it's a reunion for Pete Carroll and Smith, who also is expected to get a new contract, and Seattle will need a new quarterback, obviously.
Right. Yeah. And, that the biggest curiosity to me is, what are they going to do at quarterback? Whether it's the draft or whether I don't know, man. But, yeah, obviously – if Geno's going there, he's going to be, I don't know. I don't know if Mark Davis will pay him.
You're shocked.
I am. I'm speechless. I just thought that this was a given. I was saying jokingly a couple of weeks ago, like, I'm tired of it. I wish they would, let's just put this to bed. Geno's their quarterback. He's a very good quarterback. Who is he? I mean, he is a really good quarterback. And I'm not going to change my opinion on that because he's not elite, but he is, that next, what we called it, upper middle class type of quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, I think the trade itself, and I think it's, if you said, hey, where would they trade him to? I guess that would make the most sense, the Raiders, just because of the familiarity with Pete Carroll. But, the biggest question is, like, we didn't see that much out of Sam Howell.
No.
And, so maybe they're going to look at it in free agency, or
are they going to get Sam Darnold? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Actually, yes. So Ian Rappaport, he just has a tweet here, and it says, the Seahawks and Geno Smith had contract talks, could not make progress. Now he heads to the Raiders. Meanwhile, Seattle's expected to explore Sam Darnold, among others.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Can you imagine? That's going to be interesting because
this is right next to Bregman. This is not a dislike, but just in Bregman. Actually, it's not. It's just more about who we've had a million conversations about Darnold. A lot of listeners know.
No, it's one of those conversations we've had about, like, we have conversations about DK, or Geno or whatever, but as far as other players, I mean, if they come in and out of the news, we talk about them. But Darnold is somebody that has been brought up a lot on this show. So
a whole lot.
That would be really interesting.
Maybe he's fixed. I don't know. But we'll talk about Darnold in a moment. But this is beyond surprising news, to say the very least. Certainly everybody had seen the rumors. Everybody, I had an article that I had on my phone, and somebody, I think I read it to you, Lefko, the other day, where they gave 7 options for Geno and what could happen there, and the first one was the Raiders, these were just like, here's some things that could happen. I'm not saying I've heard. There's a rumor that this is going to, just like, all right, this could make sense, or a reunion with his former head coach. And boy, they figured out quickly, though, that they couldn't come to terms financially. So that tells me, just first blush reaction to that tweet that Lefko just read, that their salary expectations probably were just well above what Seattle was expecting.
Yeah. And so, but if you look at Geno's numbers last year, he was a 70% completion percentage. I mean, that's good all day long. 4,300 yards, 21 touchdowns, but the 15 interceptions. And I know that there were some in the red zone, and I've been like, Yeah, okay. I don't understand why that's a problem for Geno, but do I think it's something that, would make him not your quarterback anymore? Is it that bad? I didn't think so, but I don't know, maybe that's the case. But one of the things we've talked about a lot about Geno is that we don't really know him. I mean, we don't know how much of a chip on his shoulder has, and then that leads to, how much does he expect to be paid? And maybe that's where we missed out on. We just didn't realize that he was going to dig his heels in, and because it sounds like he wants more money than the Seahawks want to pay him.
Well, yeah, and we'll see what he ultimately gets from the Raiders. I don't know that he goes to the Raiders without the idea of, hey, we're gonna sit down and iron out a deal for you. I highly doubt they're gonna have him come in for just a season and play under the number that if he's expecting, a big payday. I got to believe he got some assurance it was going to happen there in Vegas for that to happen. Not that he has no trade or anything, but I don't know. This is
I'm curious how that conversation goes.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're going to trade for me, but what? How does that doesn't necessarily mean that, right? That he's going to get more than Seattle was going to offer him.
But almost to the DK conversation, would the Raiders risk bringing in a disgruntled player if they say, hey, we're trading for you? Yeah. Oh, by the way, you're playing under your current deal. We're not giving you any more money or an extension. So we're gonna kick the tires on you and see how you do this year. Then we'll talk about an extension. I just don't. Mm-hmm. I don't think they take that risk and bring a guy in like that who was expecting last year. Remember, we kept hearing reports, and I think even Brady told us that Geno was upset about not getting a restructured deal last season, and the Seahawks didn't do it. So maybe he went into this with a level of tension, like, look, you guys didn't do me right last year. You better do it now. And it didn't happen, at least to the satisfaction of his reps and him. What the Seahawks were, whatever ballpark they were in, was not the ballpark that Geno was in. So, that is crazy. That is crazy. Maybe DK ends up reuniting with Geno in Vegas. Maybe they work out another deal. I mean, I don't know. This is shocking news.
Well, and
I'm shocked.
I feel shocked. I'm waiting for Taylor Saucedo to walk by and say, dude, they traded Geno.
Yeah, we should get his take on it.
Big Seahawk fan.
Oh, he's a Husky fan, Seahawk fan. But, this is one, again, heard rumors, and people were texting in rumors, and we were all reading the same things. But it was just about, if it doesn't work, here's a spot where he could land. Kind of reading those with the idea of, well, the Seahawks, I mean, John's talking about he just loves Geno, and Coach McDonald was out there. Oh, we love him. We love everything about him. Kubiak, can't wait to work with. I mean, saying all the right things, and they were saying it enthusiastically. But the deal is done. We'll see what happens, what that means to DK moving forward. I have no idea what if this has any impact on his future. Maybe it's, as we sit, they're two completely separate situations, but we'll see what goes on. But now the question is, who is the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks? Because I don't know many people that were texting in saying, give it to Sam Howell. He's the man. Maybe it's Darnold. Maybe it's people are texting in Justin Fields. You guys can text in your thoughts on this. Again, the breaking news, in case you just tuned in, Geno Smith has been traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a third-round pick in this year's 2025 draft. So text in 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. But just, shocked, Dave.
I feel shocked. That was that
dodgeball?
Dodgeball.
Yeah.
If you're John Schneider and ownership, you're like, okay, when have we had the most success? Obviously, Super Bowl 48, 49. That time where what did we do? We ran the ball, and we played really, really good defense. And so if that's where, and we know that, with Kubiak's system, that they're going to run the ball a lot more, and that, the defense continues to get better and better. And obviously Mike McDonald is a defensive guy, and that was the formula. And so, and I don't know if they follow suit by drafting a quarterback in the third round. Maybe it's Will Howard, the Ohio State quarterback that we talked about. Talked to the guy from Ohio State the other day. But Yeah, I think maybe that's the rationale, and that's how they think they can get back to that. I mean, I totally trust that Mike Macdonald is going to make this defense go, and if they put a bunch of money into that, maybe that's what their plan is. But getting the running game going, and there's still that offensive line problem. We'll see how much the run game repairs that, and maybe they draft a couple of guards. They got an extra. They said it was a 2025
third round pick. Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe you can. It sounds like there's so many guards and interior defensive linemen in this draft that you can get one in the third round. So maybe that's what the rationale is there. But
that's crazy. And John did say in the interview with him that we asked him something along the lines of, hey, we've heard it's not a good quarterback draft, not a good wide receiver draft. It's deep in the interior lines on both sides. Did that remain true to you after you left there? And he said, yeah, but then he made mention of there were some quarterbacks that threw the ball well out there that we wanted to take a look at. I don't know, maybe somebody caught their eye out there and they felt like, hey, this kid that nobody expected anything from or doesn't have the hype, we like him, we think we can run with him. I mean, who knows? We're all speculating right now. So we're all reacting just like you. Again, you guys can text in 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. Do you like the move? Geno Smith traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a third-round pick in this year's draft. It's being that news being broken by Schefter and Pelissero and everybody else attached to it. So everybody's reacting at the same time here, and it's hard to keep up with all the text flying in. It seems to be a kind of a mix. Some people saying that it's the right move, go get Justin Fields. Others saying this is a horse bleep move, and I don't know. I question who it. For me, the question is still the same as it's always been. There's not the obvious solution to it. You don't have him on your roster, in my opinion, and maybe it is Sam Howell, and maybe he turns into a great quarterback, and I hope that is true. Yeah. But as far as who's available out there, Justin Fields has just not been the guy to this point in his career. Maybe he'll be another Sam Darnold getting in the right situation. Sam Darnold is a guy that had a tremendous year up until those last two most consequential games, and he looked like Sam Darnold of old, which is not a good one.
What's the least likely I wonder for texters, is it the other Sam Howell? Did they see enough? I mean, obviously we didn't see enough from him as far as, filling in, but in practice, we always talk about, we don't see practice. Maybe he's running the hell out of the scout team and looks really good. I'm not sure about that one, but I do know that the successful formula for this team has been running the ball and playing really good defense. Now, that was more of a Pete thing than anything else, but now you got Macdonald back in here. Mike Macdonald is the new head coach, and he is absolutely 100% a defensive guy. And and just look at the moves that they've made. I mean, signing Baker and Dodson and then cutting them and trading them and, trading for Ernest Jones. I mean, they just have been incredibly aggressive. And, I mean, I think the good news is, whether you like Geno or not, they're not going to sit. If they think there's a problem, they're not going to sit on their hands.
Well, I mean, I guess it is a problem if they felt like, if he's out there saying, and I'm just speculating, I want $55 million a year, and they're going, well, we were thinking more like 40, Right. Does that constitute a problem? This is not a gap we can close to their satisfaction. Again, the fascinating part of this for me is going to be, what does he ultimately sign for with the Raiders? Yeah. And then that'll tell you, okay, that number, whatever it ends up being, was obviously too rich for the Seattle Seahawks blood.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, whatever that number ends up being, they're going to go, okay, Seahawks did not want to pay that, whatever that deal ends up being. Now, Darnold is still, despite what happened in the last two games, I don't think he's going to be bargain basement either. He's still going to be in the 40s.
That's a tough one to figure where he's going to be. I would think along what you're saying, but maybe there's a coach that looks at him and goes, hey, I can do with him whatever O'Connell did with the Vikings, and maybe that's an option there. But yeah.
Yeah, some people speculating maybe DK will want to stay now that Geno's gone. I didn't hear a whisper about a problem between those guys. I know that's an easy conclusion to come to now, but I never heard anything about that. I tend to believe DK is more about what the contract offer was, or if he even got one. He felt like he should get one. But we'll see if there's going to be another move with DK, and maybe this could be a step back year where they trade DK and Geno and they pile up a bunch of draft picks. And I don't know. This is just.
Here's our boy Paul Moyer. He texted me, said, we're going to have the greatest defense ever. They're going to put all the money they're saving on quarterback and wide receiver, and we're going to build up our offensive line and have the best defense in the league next year. Kind of
how they going to
score.
Thinking. Huh? Is the defense going to score? I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, like I said,
JSN's thrown passes before.
Yeah, that's not
right.
Not well though.
Not well.
But it's when he's running down the middle of the field.
Yeah, I don't know if we want that. And people I assume they're joking when they're saying, "Well, you could bring Russell back for a year." I don't see that one happening. Yeah.
No. Yeah, can you imagine some of the people in that building that did not like the way he departed Seattle?
Texts coming in fast and furious. Sam Darnold sucks. Okay, let's see. What the bleep? A third-round pick for Geno? Not happy about that.
Somebody said, "Bring on Aaron Rodgers."
Stop it right now. You stop that right. Could you imagine?
Another one, 425 says anyone but Aaron Rodgers. So,
oh my goodness, what would the reaction be out here if they said we've signed Aaron Rodgers to a 1-year deal?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know, man. You think we'd be able to get him on the show?
Yeah, it would be. Oh my goodness, there's so many possibilities here, Dave, and I don't know if any of them are good. I don't know what the good possibility is here. Again, the obvious candidate to me does not exist. The obvious where we're like, I would love to have that guy because he's available and he's good. And no, we're talking about guys who, well, maybe Justin Fields could find it, and maybe Sam Darnold is this guy, and maybe Aaron Rodgers has got 1 year left in the tank. I mean, there's nobody you feel like that's a no-brainer. You go get Joe Schmagegi there.
Well, another thing that's interesting is that, you bring in all new offensive coaches, basically. And so at some point, John had to sit down with these guys and, some of the existing coaches that are hanging around and talk about and have that discussion like, what if there's no Geno? And I wonder how many conversations were like that, hey, this is what I want to do to the offense, says Kubiak or whoever, and then John presents them with that possibility. Like, what if no Geno? What are you going to do then? Can that be done? And then, maybe giving him an idea of who he's thinking about replacing him with, which I guess the first one would be Sam Howell. He's the second in line, obviously, but is that the answer? Not from what we've seen, but, maybe if you're look, last year, if they wanted to win a game, they had to put it in Geno's hands. They had to throw the ball.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, look, the Arizona game was an outlier where they ran for 185, 190 yards.
Yeah.
And then in any other good, decent run performance, it was because, K9 knocked off a 20 or 30 yarder or whatever. But, for the most part, they didn't have that. They didn't have that running game. And so, if that's what then it's kind of like what Moyer said. I mean, championship football for this franchise has been playing really good defense and running the ball.
Yeah, it's I like the idea that Moyer threw out there about them getting really good on defense and strengthening up the trenches. I'm just wondering how you're going to score. Who's going to be the quarterback is remarkably important despite your defense being really good. So. Yeah, this is fascinating. 206 says, "Is it 420? Am I that high, or did they really trade Geno?" This is reacting to this in real time. Not what we expected at all. That is beyond crazy. The text line is there for you. Give us your thoughts on the big move. Geno Smith traded from the Seattle Seahawks to the Las Vegas Raiders for a third-round pick in this year's 2025 NFL Draft. Good move, bad move. More importantly, who is their quarterback? Realistically, who's the realistic guy out there that's actually available, that can be had, that should be the quarterback of this team moving forward. We'll talk more about that. Does this trade mean the Seahawks are about to undergo a true rebuild? We're going to get into that next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Breaking news.
Geno has been traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a third-round pick in the upcoming 2025 draft, on his way to Vegas to be reunited with his former head coach, Pete Carroll.
Wow. I did not see this coming.
No.
And
you're shocked.
I am. I just thought that this was a given.
Stay with Seattle Sports for updates and analysis. Read more at seattlesports.com and on the Seattle Sports app.
Do you need a new roof? Don't wait for summer to replace it. 3 Tree Roofing is here to help you save big this winter. Avoid summer's higher prices and longer wait times and protect your home's integrity now. Visit 3treeroofing.com for your free on-site estimate. Our certified installers make it easy and worry-free, no matter the season. Don't wait. Book your estimate today at 3treeroofing.com. Mention this ad and get $500 off your roof replacement. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Shane Company engagement rings are expertly crafted to fit both your style and your lifestyle.
My wife's an artist and works with her hands. Shane Company helped me create a ring that's beautiful and sleek. She loves it.
Shane Company rings are crafted with care using high-quality materials, and we set each center stone by hand in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store. We also protect your ring, including the center stone, with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Let us help you find your perfect ring, in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades. Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades with no cost until close. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The Las Vegas Raiders for a third-round pick in this year's 2025 NFL Draft. You guys can text in your reactions to 866-979-3776, powered by Mac & Jack's Brewing Company. Do you like the move? Do you hate the move? And more importantly, who do you think should, not will, but who do you think should be the quarterback moving forward? Because that's been the question the entire time we've talked about Geno's future, knowing he wanted an extension. We had the Albert Breer cut, way back where he said his reps expect a commitment from the franchise in the offseason. You knew that was coming, and we asked the question back then, all right, if hypothetically he's not back, who's the obvious name? And to me, there's a lot of suggestion, a lot of Justin Fields, a lot of Aaron Rodgers, some serious, some not. Some are serious about Russell, some are not. Some are saying Gardner Minshew. I'm sorry, but no. It's who's the realistic quarterback option out there that you think gives you a chance to win? Or is this a true rebuild year where you're just going, all right, look, we're going to take our lumps. We're going to accumulate draft picks. Maybe they do consummate a trade for DK Metcalf, get more draft capital, and we're going to take a step back here. We're going to turn the keys over to Sam Howell, see how it goes, and really go after. Maybe there was a quarterback that caught their eye at the workouts.
Yeah, but I mean, if at the combine you see somebody, I mean, there's no guarantee he's going to be there. So there's no way, I don't think you could build it around that. I think, hey, if this guy falls to us, and, I threw out Will Howard just because he's a big stud, quarterback, kind of raw at Ohio State. But, you can't build your team that way. So you used the word realistic. The realistic quarterback right now is Sam Howell.
Right.
That's because that's who you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and really, I mean, the speculation, the other thing that's going to be really curious. So, you mentioned the Darnold thing. How much does he expect to get paid?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've been speculating about that, even though he wasn't at the time even a consideration here, but just wondering, just as NFL fans, how fascinating that story was that he had this breakout year, except for the last two games. And what did that do to his market? We played the Colin Cowherd cut earlier where he had said, according to his source, talking to people in front offices, the days of 40 million plus are over. He is now 50 million plus. But that was prior to the final regular season game and the playoff game. And by the way, we just wanted to revisit. So we talked to John yesterday, but we talked to him, it's a week and a day ago now.
Right.
A week and a day ago, we asked John about conversation. Where do you stand with Geno? What's going on with Geno? And here's what he said.
We'll be meeting with him, with his guys tomorrow. We hope to, get an extension with Geno and Geno knows he's our guy. We love him, and we want to keep going forward.
So that was a week and a day ago that he said we're going to meet with him tomorrow. So that was a week from today, and we love him. We want to get an extension done. That wasn't a him and hawing. Well, hey, we're gonna see what's going on and see how he feels and blah blah. And we went further in asking, about is this going to be a first time? Do you have a sense of what the ballpark is they're looking at, or you already go in with some knowledge? And he said, no, this is kind of our first conversation, and all you and I were talking during the breaks, thinking he must have asked for far beyond anything they imagined.
Yeah, and remember Geno in the meantime tweeted out that the praying hands.
Yeah, we thought maybe a deal got done that quickly, but
I can't imagine that that he found that out and said, oh, they're going to trade. And again, you know what? It always we talked about with the Deebo Samuel trade, a DK trade, a third rounder for Geno. But I mean, he's an aging quarterback, I guess. But it's never what you think. It's never. I mean, Geno had some numbers that were top 5 as far as quarterbacks in the NFL.
As far as passing yards and completion percentage,
and which I think is really important. But yeah, I mean, look, we talked about this also about some of these running backs like Saquon Barkley getting paid. Like that's kind of the formula. Also, you had a good offensive and defensive line in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. You had a 2,000-yard rusher. And you had Jalen Hurts, who, he's not going to be on the, the top of the list as far as, numbers, flashy numbers and everything. But remember that he was criticized for being too careful with the football.
Yeah.
And
risk averse.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the direction that the NFL's going right now. And, and again, if you go back to the time when the Seahawks have had the most success was during that period of time with Marshawn Lynch running the ball, a pretty good offensive line, but you had a quarterback and a running back that could mitigate any deficiencies in the offensive line, and then you just had a killer defense. So yeah, I mean that's kind of how. Maybe that's how Mike McDonald is going to build his team.
Again, texts are just flying in, so sorry if we don't get to yours because it's hard to keep up with them. He wants $40 million. That's a $7 million raise, hardly an absurd increase. How do you know what he wants?
Yeah,
I don't know. I haven't heard a number attached to Geno. Maybe it is 40, but I certainly haven't heard that, and I've got to believe if that were accurate, that's not out of the realm of possibility for the Seahawks, but. I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, look, the deal he signs ultimately, and I do expect he'll sign an extension with the Raiders because I just don't see them bringing on a disgruntled employee again to say, yeah, we traded for you, but you have to prove it to us. So you're going to play under the deal you're currently under. That doesn't make sense to me. Maybe who knows? Maybe it happens. Anything can happen, but I believe he's going to be signing for a new deal. He's going to agree to a new deal with them. That will tell us what the number was. What did he request from the Seahawks? Let's find out what that extension, whenever it comes out, whatever it ends up being with the Raiders, that'll be the number that the Seahawks said, nope, that's too much. That's too rich for our blood.
Yeah, 253 asked a good question. What's the cap space now? What was Geno's number against the cap?
It was 40.
I think it was 40.
Yeah. So they and according to Britt, now I don't know how that works. If it says they are taking on all of Geno's $31 million salary for the season, so that's his salary versus his cap hit are two separate things.
Right.
So we'll see what it means. Look, they're well under the cap after the moves they made with Tyler and all these other players with Draymond Jones and Rayshon Jenkins and those guys. So they were pretty well under the cap to begin with prior to this move. But yeah, they've got money. Who are they going to spend it on? What are they going to spend it on? It's just going to be a fascinating thing to watch and follow because this was, to me, the least likely scenario. As much as there were tons of articles, and that's what happens in the offseason. You write about the possibilities. Or what if this happens in this city? What if this happens with that player in that city? That's what happens. You just take them with a grain of salt, and you listen and go, okay, yeah, that's interesting. But, you just heard John. He couldn't have been more direct about it. He was not evasive at all. He's like, oh, we love Geno. He knows we love him. He's our guy. We want to get him signed. We want to get him locked up to an extension. I mean, there was no gray area in what he said.
Right.
We're talking to him tomorrow.
Well, and look,
a week and a day ago.
And it's not like that. That's how quickly it changed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't think John wasn't BSing there. I think he would have said something different. He did a great job answering the questions yesterday of, keeping it about, this is about the team. And so, anyway, Rabel, in our little text group, he texts, my, oh, my. Why not holy catfish?
Yeah, he's going with a.
Why is he
going with a Niehaus?
Dave Niehaus. Yeah. Come on, Rabes. But, yeah, and it's it's like I said, I don't think everything was okay that way. Things happen fast in the NFL, and so for John Schneider to say that and everything, it's not like he was BSing or lying or anything. But we don't know anything about Geno and what he wants. And I don't know. For me, I just think him wanting 50 or 55 million was just a little bit unrealistic.
If that's what he's at, yeah.
Yeah, if that's the case.
Yeah, we're all speculating what it is he wanted, but again, I guess the obvious conclusion to draw is whatever it was he was requesting was too much for the Seahawks.
Right.
And maybe he said, I played last year under my deal. You guys didn't sign me to a new deal. I went out there. I was a good soldier. I went out there and competed like crazy. And now you're not going to come anywhere near what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. So I don't know. It's a crazy situation. We'll continue to talk about. You guys can continue to text in 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. There's one reason to think a DK trade won't happen. We'll hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up next with Wyman and Bob, live from Peoria, Arizona. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Breaking news.
Geno has been traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a third-round pick in the upcoming 2025 draft, on his way to Vegas to be reunited with his former head coach, Pete Carroll.
Wow. I did not see this coming.
No.
And
you're shocked.
I am. I just thought that this was a given.
Stay with Seattle Sports for updates and analysis. Read more at seattlesports.com and on the Seattle Sports app.
Homeowners, what's going on up on your roof there? You ever get up there? Because I can tell you I never get up on my roof. I've got no desire to be up there, and I don't know how many of you get up on the roof to see what's happening. That's why I had Asset Roofing come out and do an inspection after a winter of rain and snow and frost and all of the trees around me and the leaves. I had to get them up there just to see what was going on. I had them out there a little over a year ago to do an inspection, and they did a great job giving me a very detailed report with pictures saying, here's an area to keep an eye on. Let's check back. Let's check on this in about a year. So we had them do a little checkup, little oil change, if you will. So they got up there, took a look around, did the same exact thing. Completely blew me away. They went up there, took pictures of everything, sent me a very detailed email with all of their recommendations. Here's what we're looking at. Here's what we did. Little moss removal, little cleaning of the gutter, little cleaning of a clogged downspout. Here's something to keep an eye on. And more importantly, getting out in front of a problem before it becomes a big, expensive problem. And that's what an inspection will do. So if you are like me, you don't get up on your roof, you don't know what's going on up there, get Asset Roofing out there to do an inspection before something becomes a big problem and an expensive problem. And if you already know what's going on up there, maybe you know the repair, you need a roof replacement, give them a call. They're the best in the business. They've been doing it for over 20 years, over 2 decades in the business, and that's why they've got the reputation they do. Check them out online at assetroofingco.com. That's assetroofingco.com.
Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. It's Mike Salk here, and this summer you can experience breathtaking Cascade views, world-class dining, and of course the best entertainment. Elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. The hotel opens this summer with deluxe king and 2 queen rooms, premiums, grand suites, signature suites, and the breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. For more details, go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save over $1,000 in your first year versus other major carriers. Plus, ask how to get iPhone 16e on us. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment tax and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual savings vary.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Down, set, Pizza Hut, Make the play of the game with Pizza Hut. Buy any large Pizza Hut pizza and get another one free. Use code HUT at checkout. That's code HUT for a buy one, get one free exclusive offer to 710 Seattle sports listeners. No one out pizzas the Hut.
Celebrate the best of the best in Washington sports with the 90th annual Sports Star of the Year Award Show on King 5. Legendary athletes and today's stars come together for one spectacular night of sports accolades. Hosted by Steve Rabel and Jordan Babineau, featuring Kenny Mayne, Cal Raleigh, Fred Couples, Jessica Campbell, Gary Payton, and Marshawn Lynch. The 90th annual Sports Star of the Year Award Show presented by Microsoft. Saturday, March 8th at 7 on King 5. Visit seattlesports.org for more.
Seattle Sports is in Arizona for spring training baseball. Go behind the scenes with Wyman and Bob all this week from 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports. Over the past decade, Washington state politicians have doubled state spending with no improvements to the issues we care about. Instead, we now have the third highest cost of living in the nation and a $12 billion deficit. It's time to tell legislators we need better results, not bigger taxes. Act now at affordablewashington.org. Paid for by people for an affordable Washington and Olympia, Washington. Top 5 donors are Washington Alliance for Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Alaska Air.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. The season's next tryout for adults ages 18 to 65 and older is this Saturday, March 8th at Hogan Park at Russell Road in Kent. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school and even former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Well, things have certainly evolved a little bit since Diana Rossini was on with Colin Cowherd talking about DK Metcalf, but I think the premise, at least right now, stays the same. So Geno Smith aside, he has been traded to the Raiders, but as it relates to DK Metcalf, she was on with Colin Cowherd this morning, and she kind of outlined why the Seahawks asking price, at least right now, is kind of too steep for every other team with DK.
Yeah, so right now, teams that are interested in DK, they've reached out to Seattle, and they're being told right now that the compensation they're looking for is a first and third in exchange for the wide receiver. So that is very, very high. Let's just go back to the A.J. Brown trade between the Tennessee Titans and the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Like that's basically what we're talking about here. And I think we can all fairly say they are not the same player. And obviously a few years have gone by since then. So, look, a lot of teams that I've talked to around the league that definitely had their eye on Seattle over the last few weeks, knowing that they could possibly be moving on, just feel that price is just, it's too high.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that response.
I thought that was you.
No, right there it was. But yeah, I don't know what the, again, we're trying to figure out, is there a connection between the two? Does one relate to the other with, between DK and between Geno? Now the Geno one is not one that we've ever considered or even really discussed, because we just played you the clip from John Schneider, who made it sound like, no, this is no brainer. We love Geno. He's our guy. We're going to get this extension done. That was from John a week and a day ago. So, the idea that
you think that popped up in the last 48 hours?
I just think maybe that first meeting was just so jarring, and they were like, wow, how do we bridge this gap? We were thinking something more like this, and they're thinking something like this. How do we meet in the middle? And they just figured it, obviously they came to a conclusion they couldn't. So as far as, the asking price for DK right now, I don't, is that impacted by this? How does this impact that? You just picked up a third-round pick. Now you need a quarterback, as far as we can tell, unless they have a belief in Sam Howell that we don't necessarily have at this point. So we're all left to speculate what it means. But in terms of what they're asking for DK, does that change the asking price at all based on the fact you just picked up a third-round pick?
Yeah. And I'm, the bigger thing that comes into focus now all of a sudden to me is, what about the relationship with Geno and DK? I don't think we ever really thought that was a problem.
Never heard a whisper about it.
Yeah.
Usually when there's tension, we'll hear whispered. Whether it's made public or not is different. But we tend to hear things behind the scenes, like, oh yeah, hey, these guys, they don't get along, or this guy has an issue with this guy. I'd never heard a whisper about anything between. Maybe there is. It doesn't mean there wasn't, but it was a well-kept secret if it was.
Sweeping the dial.
Yeah, we've got a lot of football to discuss, but this was kind of random. Barry Bonds was on the All the Smoke podcast, a couple of their former athletes, and in his opinion, he thinks Ohtani has it pretty easy compared to when he was playing.
The game has just changed. Okay. I mean, the game is way different than it is than when I played. The same way Michael talks about it or anyone else. Ohtani is not going to hit 2 home runs without seeing one go right here. In my generation, I don't care what he does. He's not going to steal 2 bases without somebody decapitating his kneecap and slow him down, because it's a different game back then. Today's game, they take batting practice all day. They take batting practice at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up. These guys hit more than I've ever seen in my entire lifetime that we didn't do. And they should be better than us as hitting-wise, because they can hit a home run, flip their bat up in the air, run around, get a taco, come back down, have a limo, drive them around, all these antics that we weren't allowed to do. If I did anything like that, there's no way I'm going to see a star.
Wow.
I'll see the hospital, but I ain't going to see baseball that day.
Was Brock there?
I know. Who is that? That's a very extreme version of Brock.
It was Matt Barnes and someone else.
Wow.
So, one of them.
Wouldn't you say, though, that the pitching has gotten much better?
Decidedly better.
Yeah.
Back when Barry was playing, if a guy's throwing 94, 95, it was highlighted. It was like, man, this guy throws hard. And now you've got every arm out of the bullpen hitting triple digits.
Right. And not only that, they've got this ridiculous slider that goes 75% of the way straight down the pipe and then just...
One, it's so much more specialized the way the bullpen is used these days, where they've got a guy to attack that hitter specifically. I've got a guy that's going to take care of Ohtani in the 8th or 9th inning. We've got a guy who's it's so specialized now. They throw so much harder now. Oh, and by the way, Ohtani, as far as we know, is not juiced to the gills the way you were when your cranium grew to the size of the Goodyear blimp. So let's not act like you're some hero out there, and Ohtani's just living the high life off of easy cheese.
Sweeping the dial.
Yeah, the Geno Smith fallout certainly continues, so we'll get to that coming up. But it was a crazy week for another Seattle team, and they've continued to make trades today. The Kraken, we thought maybe they would be the biggest team making trades. They traded Brandon Tanev today and Daniel Sprong as well. They already traded Yanni Gord earlier in the week, along with Oliver Bjorkstrand. And in the middle of the Kraken broadcast last night, with the Kraken had a 1-0 lead, they blew that. They gave up 4 unanswered goals to Nashville. Eddie Olczyk just kind of calls out the Kraken roster right in the middle of the broadcast.
Just start figuring out who's playing and who wants to play, and play those guys. I don't care how much you play them. I mean, at some point, a line in the sand has to be drawn. Can't just keep getting rewarded when you go out there and not get anything accomplished, and you're getting outshot 22-7. Play the guys that are playing. And if you hurt somebody's feelings, well, that's just too bad. I mean, you heard the interview that Piper did with Chandler Stevenson in the pregame, and about the trades and players going out, and Chandler said, the first thing he said was, it's a business. Okay, well, it's a big business.
That's right.
He got jobs on the line. I would hope jobs are on the line. It can't. We've had too many games like this.
He's reached his limit. He's sick of watching that. I don't blame him.
Sounds like the Vikings broadcast.
Yeah, yeah, with Sam Darnold.
He's holding the ball, man. Just throw it. Take a shot.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. They're clearly going for a rebuild here with the Kraken. I don't know if Ron Francis is on the hot seat. I don't know if maybe he should be on the hot seat. They're accumulating draft picks. This is not a quick fix, by the way. When you start talking about draft picks, you're not all of a sudden going to get every draft pick turns into an all-star, and hey, this is a completely different team who's out there just lighting other teams up. So you're in a rebuild already with the Kraken.
Yeah, Tanev and Gord. I mean, those were like the big names when
you've lost the face of your original team, and maybe that's not a bad thing now. But guys that became associated with them from the expansion draft are now gone. So it's going to be all Coachella Valley guys, I think. Although younger guys coming up right now, well, just this year, they don't have anyone. I mean, they traded Gord, Bjorkstrand, Tanev, Sprong, all for picks, and one guy, Michael Eissemont. So
so you're not going to get better this year, and I don't know that, again, those picks are down the road, and they're going to be developed, and these are going to be young kids, and you've seen even with Shane Wright and even Matty Beniers, you're still waiting for them to get to where they're going to be, and I know Shane Wright's been playing much better, but these aren't fully formed players by any stretch of the imagination. So it feels like, barring, some major free agent acquisitions or big trades for established players, this is going to be a little bumpy road for the Kraken for a bit. All right, so what does the offense actually look like now for the Seahawks after this Geno Smith trade? We'll get into that. Also, your last chance for mean texts. We'll try to sift through them, where there's 8 million texts have come through on the Geno's thing, but you still have a chance for mean texts at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. It's Wyman and Bob live from Peoria, Arizona. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Breaking news.
Geno has been traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a third-round pick in the upcoming 2025 draft, on his way to Vegas to be reunited with his former head coach, Pete Carroll.
Wow. I did not see this coming.
No.
And
you're shocked.
I am. I just thought that this was a given.
Stay with Seattle Sports for updates and analysis. Read more at seattlesports.com and on the Seattle Sports app.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. With thousands of full replacements with expert craftsmanship and unbeatable warranties, we've been building roofs you can trust for over 5 decades. It's more than just a job, it's our promise to you.
Protect your investment with a free Golden Pledge warranty on all GAF roof replacements over $15,000. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Getting engaged? At Shane Company, dream engagement rings are our specialty. We have the most beautiful natural and lab-grown diamonds, hand-picked in every price range, ready to compare side by side. Shop online at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates, other insurers, not available in all states or situations.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the big news here and everywhere in the NFL world, the Las Vegas Raiders have traded for Seattle Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith, reuniting him with head coach Pete Carroll. That being reported by Adam Schefter, Tom Pelissero, Jeremy Fowler. It is out there. In exchange, the Raiders give up a 2025 third-round pick for Smith. The deal ends his 5-year stint in Seattle, where he revived his career, became a 2-time Pro Bowl selection. He has 1 year left on his deal, $31 million. Raiders are taking on all $31 million, and the Seahawks will save that $31 million in cash and cap space while taking on $13.5 million in dead money.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We are live here in Peoria, Arizona. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. Again, in case you're just tuning in, to reiterate the big news, the Seattle Seahawks have traded Geno Smith to the Las Vegas Raiders in exchange for a third-round pick in this year's 2025 NFL Draft. Taking your reactions on the text line. Do you like the move? You don't like the move? More importantly, who do you think the realistic candidate should be for quarterback? We will get to mean text. We'll try to sift through all the Geno texts and find the mean text you send in. We'll do that at 5:15. So, again, 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. One thing, Dave, that we talked about, or you brought up before, is how much John Schneider values those late-round picks. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. He places a lot of value. And when they acquired Sam Howell, they sent a 3rd and a 5th to the Washington Commanders for Sam Howell and a 4th and a 6th. So they gave up some draft capital to get him. And that represents a level of belief. We've talked about that. Now, was their belief shaken at all by that one appearance this year? It's hard to say. I know fans it did. Fans didn't feel great after that, but you bring it up all the time. We're not at practice. We don't get to watch practice. We don't see what they're seeing, so maybe they have a different level of belief, and they thought, all right, that's a tough set of circumstances there, what have you. I don't know. I don't know if they feel like Sam's the obvious successor based on, what they gave up to get him, or if they feel like, no, we need to spend what it's going to take to bring in Sam Darnold. He's younger than Geno. We believe he's fixed. Maybe it is Justin Fields, or maybe it is a stopgap of sort. Hey, we'll kick the tires on Justin Fields for a year, and if he's not the guy, we're going to draft somebody this year we think we can develop. Or there's so many possibilities to this, but just what they gave up to get Sam Howell to me represents us. At least at that point, they had a certain level of belief in him.
Right, and it's also the most practical thing. But the other thing is when they traded for him, it's not like in what they have now. It's not like he was some big mystery that they only saw on film or whatever. They were probably looking at him, and maybe if you asked John Schneider, and I don't know that he would tell us this, but that might be a guy that they were really interested in, and they think that he can go and do it. And look, I'm just exploring every possibility. That's really the only hard proof that we have that, or I should say, as far as a replacement for Geno, he's practical because he's there. Nobody else is there. Sam Darnold's not there. And I was trying to find some kind of a connection with Kubiak and him. But, you look at, I was just looking up where the Seahawks were last year as far as the run game goes. And then, who excelled in the run game last year. The top 6 teams all went to the playoffs. And that's usually the case. Actually, if you look at number 9, the Buffalo Bills, so that makes 7 teams that were top 10 rushing that made the playoffs. And, the Baltimore Ravens were number 1. They ran for 187 yards, obviously, per game, obviously because of their quarterback, Lamar Jackson. But then the Eagles, you had Saquon Barkley and the combination with Jalen Hurts. So,
and then Derrick Henry is a hell of a running back. He had a hell of a year right behind, just on the heels of Saquon Barkley.
I should have mentioned him too. Yeah. But and Tampa Bay kind of sneaky in there, but they ran for 150 yards. So, if that's maybe the way the NFL is going, there's always trends go back and forth. And again, going back to their roots, how did John build a championship team? It's with, they tried at offensive line. Again, they had a running back in Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson, a quarterback that mitigated a lot of the things that the deficiencies of the offensive line. So, but that's what they know. And, that's where they're going, I think, with, building a really good defense. They're already on their way to doing that. And then, and then you can get the run game going with Kubiak. It sounded like, he's going to have some plays that are more offensive line friendly. Meanwhile, you're building up your offensive line, whether it's through free agency, the draft. We heard, from Daniel Jeremiah, he said inside defensive tackles, whatever, you don't really need to go on the open market for that. Yeah. That's because they're so plentiful in the, in the draft. And, we've seen, who's that kid, Kenneth Grant? The kid from Michigan that keeps showing up that
in the mock drafts.
Mock drafts, that's an inside, defensive tackle. So, maybe that's the route that they're going. That's what John Schneider knows best.
Some of the text coming in, this is from the 425. The reality is that no quarterback that they can reasonably acquire this offseason is going to be better than Geno would have been next year. At least not behind this offensive line, is what the 425 said. I don't disagree with that. I don't, and I'm not portraying myself as a Geno apologist or he's the greatest and nobody respects him. I've been accused of being a lover of Geno and a hater of Geno. I'm in the gray area. I've said that over and over, but I tend to agree with that. I don't know who the obvious guy is because I don't know that Sam Darnold comes in here and is better. He's a guy who's turned the ball over a lot in his career. He did it at USC. He's done it a lot in his career. He did have a great year up until it mattered most at the end of the year. We'll see. Maybe they acquire him and they believe this guy is fixed and he's younger. We've got more time with him. Maybe Justin Fields is a stopgap that they think, hey, he's a stopgap initially, but we develop him. He's got all the raw tools. He can run the daylights out of the ball. You brought up the mobility of Russell when he was here and how that covered up a lot of the warts of the O-line that they had along with Marshawn. So maybe they go that route. I don't know, but it's going to be fascinating to watch. And the other thing that you brought up, and we talked about this when they were hiring the offensive coordinator, is they had conversations with each guy saying, all right, here, how do you feel about the guy? We asked John about this. I asked him in one of our conversations, do you talk to these guys and say, hey, how do you feel about this player, that player? How do they fit? How do you and of course, he's basically like, yeah, we talked to him about all that. So, I'm certain they brought up the scenario. All right, well, what if this guy isn't there? What if DK's not there? What if Geno's not there? Well, then how do you see this?
And you're talking about conversations with all of the
candidates.
Yeah, and then also, once you get all of your guys together, it's the draft guys, it's your scouts, and then it's that whole offensive staff.
Yeah.
What can we how can we build what you want, what your dream of this offense is? So, and can we get by without this guy? So
yeah, they don't just make a move like this
Right.
all willy-nilly, Dave.
Yeah.
There's some thought and some preparation put into a move like this. This isn't just, well, that didn't go the way we thought it would, so let's trade him and we'll figure it out.
I'll tell you what, man, I got to say, Mike McDonald has some stones, man. I mean, I just, the way that he moved during the middle of the season, I brought this up many times, but I still am just surprised by that because I feel like a lot of times that gets handled, okay, we'll wait till the end of the year and continue to assess. It's like, no, boom, by the bye week, we've got Ernest Jones in here and we're starting a rookie who is a fifth rounder.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and then as far as, and I don't know, maybe this means expect DK to get traded, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at first, we thought, hey, maybe this is, going to be a situation where DK ends up back on the team. But, I don't know, if they're out there being aggressive and going, trying to get good defensive players, trying to get good offensive linemen, maybe this spells the end of DK's tenure here in Seattle because they move, man. They make, they fire the offensive coordinator. I mean, it just all happens fast. And like I said, I think, Mike McDonald has some stones, man. He doesn't mind taking educated. I don't want to say it's like he's being, super overly aggressive and just hoping. I mean, that's not a good strategy, but it's just more about, hey, let's move on. Let's move on from, any deficiency that we have on this team.
So we have some reported numbers about how far apart these sides are. This is from Albert Breer, who was just on the station yesterday, right? I believe a couple days ago, and discussing the Seahawks and Geno Smith. Albert Breer says Seahawks were closer to the $35 million per year, and Geno Smith's camp was asking for around $45 million per year. And then that started the conversation. Then Breer also said that it was the Seahawks that opened trade discussions with the Raiders. Listen to this. A blockbuster proposal, this is according to Albert Breer, Geno Smith and DK Metcalf to Vegas for Max Crosby. Vegas shut that down, told Seattle Crosby wasn't available. Talks then continued, and it ended with just Geno going over there.
I don't think I would have liked that trade.
Crosby just got paid $101 million.
Yeah,
and maybe that's what led to that deal.
Yeah,
they just signed a massive deal with him. But DK and Geno for Crosby's a hell of a player. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not about. It's just your offense is very depleted at this point, and edge rusher isn't your primary need there. I know he's different. He's a hell of a player. I'd like him on the team certainly, but that seems to be a big price to pay unless they just look at it as, all right, these two guys don't want to be here. Maybe now that we've told Geno we want to pay you 35, I want 45.
Yeah,
they couldn't have settled on 40.
I know.
It seems like the perfect number to meet in the middle.
It didn't seem. Yeah, it didn't seem like they were that far off. So,
and people keep pointing out that on the text that Washington has no state income tax, whereas I'm not sure where that number is in Vegas, but if you certainly other states like California, we know how punitive the state income tax is and things like that. But
I thought Nevada didn't have a state income tax.
I don't know,
but maybe I'm wrong on that. They're moving fast.
What if Tyler and DK end up on the Raiders,
along with Geno?
Yeah. They'd hit the ground running. There would be no getting used to your new teammates, or at least in that trifecta.
Well, I mean,
and a new head coach. I mean, there's a lot of hitting the ground running with that situation. Just throwing that out there. We were talking about Tyler. A likely landing spot could be the Raiders. What if DK went there and you got a head coach that knows all of them and played under him for years? The Raiders could be a favorite out there.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Geno and Tyler Lockett, but remember when DK and Pete had that little disagreement where it was, people were texting in about DK and what they think about him, and maybe that was, part of what when he, I can't remember exactly how they disagreed, but Pete said no more of that, and then DK said
it was one of the times he got a penalty, a personal foul, or a taunting or whatever penalty, and they had the board, the accountability board, whatever the heck they called it, and it sounded like he was doing something for public consumption, like, well, I'm not going to be told, or I'm not going to play the way I play, or whatever. But
and I think with Tyler Lockett, that was the first place we all thought, okay, if he's not going to play here, he would play for Pete, because it would be a perfect opportunity for Pete to come in and say, hey, I'm the new coach here.
Yeah.
See this guy right here? He's what we want out of a Las Vegas Raider.
Yeah.
Great character, everything. But now you got Geno, so I could absolutely still see that there.
By the way, how come the lights didn't come on for us, but they're on over there? We're sitting in the dark now.
It's a cue, I think.
We're sitting in
Get the hell out of here.
Our time is soon done here.
Literally starting to sit in the dark out here. Should we get to mean text?
Yeah,
all right.
I think so.
Let's close it out with some mean texts.
The lights really were. I think that's the sign. Like you guys are done here. That's
Your
the
week
mean
is
text.
over. We're not going to spend electricity on you.
Peoria. Attribute that's to freezing cold weather.
Oh, by the way,
trade
programming note, we will have conversations with J.P. Crawford and Mitch Haniger. We'll air those for you next week. We'll figure out if it's going to be Monday or Tuesday, which day we do them. But you'll hear those conversations that we taped with those guys today.
or both days. Maybe more trades happen.
Yeah, we gotta keep things loose. We don't know what's going to happen.
I will say, before we get to this mean text, Monday is the best day on the NFL calendar. The legal tampering period begins.
Oh,
so there's going to be some legal tampering to discuss.
Perfect.
Okay, we have a good amount here. So we go all the way back to the start of the show. We were trying to talk about those hairless bears that Wyman was discussing. There's a few along those lines.
Furry bears.
Yeah, furry bears. So 425 says, Wyman's a hairless bear.
Oh, All right.
I got some hair.
He's
Still got my hair.
He's got some hair left.
I was saying, I'm getting old and fat and all that, but I do have to say I'm happy that I have my hair.
You can still have.
It's too late for my wife. She wouldn't leave me if I, all of a sudden started losing my hair, but I'm happy to have it. I'll say that.
You feel secure in the fact that if you woke up bald tomorrow, you'd still
be married.
Still in good standing.
Yeah,
Shannon.
So.
Okay.
She'd find a way to go, oh, no, I think you look sexy bald.
She'd overcome it.
Okay, honey, nice try.
And then one more along those lines, 250. See, 250 thought you said hairy as well. You said furry bear?
I thought so.
Okay.
Yeah.
250 says, you don't have to say, I'm going to add this in, furry bear. You can just say Mike Salk.
Wait, what did you add in?
Well, hair. He put hairy.
Okay.
Hairy.
I thought you added in Mike Salk.
No. 250 said you don't have to say hairy bear. You can just say Mike Salk. But if you said furry, then I'm going to change that to furry.
Lefko fixed it.
Yeah. There we go.
I just didn't know if he was adding in Salk.
No.
Taking his own shot.
This is from earlier in the week. You guys love this commercial. The words chat.
Yeah.
And all.
Oh yeah.
And
sus.
Yeah. Well, 360 said. You just said sus, and my son said, did an old man just say sus?
Yeah, I responded to that guy. I said, yes, he did. Hey, can I read one?
Yeah.
360 says, I think Dave does radio like he played football. He just turns his brain off.
That's solid. That was pretty solid.
I do talk about that a lot. Just turn the brain off.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen first? Mariners winning the World Series or Wyman and Bob putting on a good show? I'm taking the Mariners winning the World Series.
Ouch. Yikes.
Ouch.
That's a shot.
I'll take it.
That's a shot. I'll take that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure out a way to do a good show at some point.
Sure.
425 says, Wyman and Bob are the suicide doors of radio. Outdated and nonsensical.
And you can't explain it.
You can't explain it. Yeah, more importantly, tough to explain.
Yeah. That's going back a few days.
How did we get like 15 minutes out of suicide doors? Oh, my God.
I think that was the first day we were down here, too.
Yeah. Good.
Right.
That's why we came to Peoria.
Well, the best line came from Matt, you have to admit. I thought I knew what suicide doors were. Now I'm not sure.
Before Dave explained it. Right.
After that very aggrieved and frustrated, what?
Yeah.
When you were trying to explain that.
Well, he can stay at Comic-Con for all I care. Just stay there.
He agrees with you.
Another 425 says, Dave goes from saying how dumb the texters are straight to the furry bears from Star Wars 2, which they are 3, by the way. Dave, how did you get that bong through airport security?
Nice. I wrapped it in a dirty sock and I put it in my shoe. Oh no! Now they know. Now they know.
They know your trick. If you can fit a bong in your shoe, you got a giant shoe.
253 says, you guys suck so bad that even the state with the most sun attempted to drown you.
It did its best. I'll tell you what, man.
A couple of times.
It wasn't just raining this morning. It was a torrential downpour.
It was full on Seattle. Yeah, there was a huge puddle outside of our the night before we had a dog barking incessantly. But then this morning I was awakened by cars running into this puddle. You couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And there was just, I saw one car get kind of sideways. Yeah, they're not used to that kind of rain down here.
And I do believe it's warmer in Seattle right now than it is here.
It's freezing here.
Yeah, I'm shivering. I think it got colder. The last 30 minutes.
That's because you're not Fat Lefko. If you were Fluffco, you would be
as Cal pointed out, he said I don't have the body type for that.
By the way, once again, I got to thank Alex Mayer for lending me his little brother's hoodie that I'm wearing underneath my jacket. I'm layering, and I said, I got to borrow the mini sweatshirt again, man. So he hooked me up and been able to survive thanks to him.
You know what we should do on videos? Have me try to put on Lefko's hoodie. What do you think about that?
He doesn't want
right
to
now. I'm not taking it out. I'm not taking it off. I'll freeze.
All the seams are going to be ripped.
Actually, on Monday, Wally and Snoqualmie said, Monday's the day you wore it the first time, right? Whatever day, yeah. So he said, we know that Bob would not stretch out the neck hole like George Costanza would have with the cashmere sweater.
With his giant bulbous head.
Bob might poke a hole in the sweatshirt somewhere with his pinhead.
This has 2 neck holes. This is weird. No, that's the armhole, Bob. You put your head through.
Carter from Tacoma says 15 minutes for mean texts, and now it's only about like 8. So dial that down a little bit more. But it's not nearly enough time for Dave to be able to sound them out and read them all.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Nice job. Nicely done.
Is it weird the guy from Stanford gets all the cracks about intelligence?
No. Like I said, I got hit in the head a lot. I don't remember a damn thing.
I find that odd.
And I'm not looking to get smarter, so don't.
You know everything you need to at this point.
I know enough.
I've got enough. I don't have any more room. I'm good.
I've figured out how to put on a headlamp and mow my lawn in the dark.
That's all you need in life.
253 says, do you know the grumpy old guys on the Muppets are based on Wyman and Bob?
Yeah, we've
had that.
We've heard that one a lot.
I think Brock and Salk used to say that. And somebody thought that it hurt our feelings, and I was like, well, that's right. Yeah.
I'd have to know who they are in order to hurt my feelings. I'm not entirely sure who they're talking about. Oh, I know I've heard the reference a million times. I'm just not entirely sure.
What's it, Stadler and Waldorf? The guys just yelling from the balcony?
Constantly.
They're just mad?
Yeah, they're just mad.
All right.
Probably because it was cold up there. Maybe that's why.
All right. I want to thank our guests today, Dan Wilson, Bryce Miller, J.P. Crawford, Mitch Haniger joined us. You'll hear those conversations next week. And thanks to everybody who texted into the show, especially on a big day for breaking news. You'll catch everything you missed on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Click the podcast tab. Scroll down to our picture. Click on that. You're going to find it waiting for you right there. Click subscribe. Never worry about it again. You got the Mariners and Dodgers coming up next. We'll talk to you on Monday with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Saul.
My phone is just blowing up here, obviously, with the news of Geno Smith being traded to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
This is more shocking to me, quite honestly, than the news a couple years ago that Russell was getting moved to Denver. They're willing to take a significant swing and risk to try to go from good to great. How do we find and pursue that next guy to make us great and to be a world champion?
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello. Welcome to Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name, it's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close, and they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement, but you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring? As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise, and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale, handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Over the past decade, Washington state politicians have doubled state spending with no improvements to the issues we care about. Instead, we now have the third highest cost of living in the nation and a $12 billion deficit. It's time to tell legislators we need better results, not bigger taxes. Act now at affordablewashington.org. Paid for by people for an affordable Washington and Olympia, Washington. Top 5 donors are Washington Alliance for Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Alaska Air.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a
a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in the rinse change. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy rinse and refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through April 21st, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $25 a month for 1 year and save over $1,000 in your first year versus other major carriers. Plus, ask how to get iPhone 16e on us. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment tax and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Actual savings vary.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've